From the mountains of central British Columbia to you listening around the world, this, my friends, is Spaced Out Radio. I'm your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. We welcome you to tonight's show on our terrestrial affiliates around North America and digitally on TalkStream Live and Revolution Radio. Now, if you want to listen to our archives, we have them free for you at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. Tonight's show is brought to you by Chive Charities. Help make the world 10% happier by visiting Chive Charities today. You can find them on our website. It's that time of the month, once again, where we start to wind things down and take a look back at the month that was. And we call that the SOR Roundtable, where I bring in some friends to discuss and debate the month and the topics that have passed. And boy, do we have some interesting ones tonight. And I got to say, this is probably one of our strongest panels we have ever had on this show tonight. We have from Goof On Radio, or just Goof On, Little Richie G. We have Science Bob McGwier from the new Science Bob and Friends show that we started this past month. Roy Washington, he's here. He's hanging out. He has got a great podcast, one of my favorite podcasts that I listen to. We have the gorgeous and talented and our resident witch, Lynn Wellington. And we have Alex Mistretta, who is, you know, this guy doesn't even own a t-shirt. He just sits there and thinks about everything topless. He really does. But it is a strong panel. It is a brilliant panel. It is a panel that is not afraid to give their opinions and tell you the way they think it is and the way it should be. And that's what we're going for. We're going to get a little controversial. We're going to get a little spicy, and we're going to kick things off right now, because one of the topics that has come up quite recently here, ladies and gentlemen, is the fact this past month that we are seeing a lot more people getting back into the age-old debate of the paranormal, supernatural, ufological, and the cryptid world on whether or not people should be paid for their research, their time, and everything. And Alex, I know that you have a very strong stance on this, so I want to start with you tonight on this one. You know, I agree that time is not free. Time means money. And if you are doing something and you're wanting to try and make a career out of something, that you should be paid for your efforts. Look, I make no bones about it. I'm trying to get paid to do this show. This is a business. This is not something that I do recreationally. But that being said, there's not a lot of people asking or willing to hire paranormal experts. Where do we draw the line here on getting people or allowing people to make an income doing what they love?
What do you mean by where do we draw the line? I'm not sure I understand the question.
Well, how do we make it happen?
Whoa, how do we make it happen? Well, first we have to clean house, you know, and certain people just don't belong in the field. They shouldn't be investigators. They shouldn't be doing research. I don't know how to answer that, to be honest with you. All I can tell you is that, like, just take the UFO field, for example, right? What have we accomplished? Or actually, take all the fields. What have we accomplished? Absolutely nothing. We haven't discovered anything. We haven't done anything. Most of us spend half our time, you know, spending our own money. We can't travel places. We can't go investigate this. We can't go investigate that. I mean, even with MUFON, right? When I was part of MUFON for 13 years and STAR team, the whole deal, we got nothing done because there was no money. And then the money ran out, and then everything fell apart. Money will solve everything. That's just the way it is. You want Bigfoot? We can't go spend a month out where we're supposed to because we don't have the money to do it, because we got to come back and do whatever our day-to-day job is, you know? So there's absolutely, everybody else gets paid for their job. You need professionals, and you have professionals that will weed out all the people that don't belong. And I get it, man. There's a lot of resistance to this because you have all these guys that have their YouTube shows, or they like to tell their stories. They're, you know, whistleblowers and all that. They haven't actually done anything in the field, but they want to maintain their spot in the food chain. Well, man, those guys got to go because we're not getting anything done. This is about getting results. If you want answers, you want a professional system that gets paid. You don't want answers, you don't want it. It's that simple. There's no black and white. everybody that doesn't want a professional system is wrong, is in this field for the wrong reasons. You want answers. You're honest about this field. You care about this field. You care about progress. You want a professional system that gets paid with people that are educated, have gone to college, have degrees, or at least have spent time in the field for a long period of time and have a lot of experience. And
right, but
you never get those people to do their job.
But I'm going to counter with that, okay? They've tried that in the psychic world, and we have seen so many fraudsters of paranormal teams saying, look, if you pay me this much money, I can get that demonic entity out of your house, or you're surrounded by demons, and I need money in order to buy the proper herbs and spices to mix them together to cast a spell to get that demon out of here. You know, we see it all the time where people have been ripped off. This is where I believe a lot of the paranormal teams, Alex, have decided, you know what, we got to be able to do it for free.
Yeah, but you don't charge individual, okay, so I worked with Barry Taft for 13, 15 years, whatever. Every investigation that we've done, and we've done a lot, we're for personal individuals, right? People that call us up, they need help with something. Not once did we ever charge for anything. And I don't believe in charging those people. But you start doing real work for organizations or sponsors or television or people that have the means to pay. You get paid for research, not for solving people's problems. You can't get paid for going in and people, well, you need an exorcist or you've got a demon in the house, which, most of the time is bullshit anyway. That's not what you get paid for. What people should be getting paid is for research, doing bona fide research. You have your hypothesis, you go out and investigate, you collect your data. That works with Bigfoot, that works with UFOs. Because what we need a global approach. We need a multidisciplinary approach to start hitting these phenomena from a lot of different angles. And I'm only talking about getting paid from a research and investigative standpoint, not, they go in someone's house and clear the air or help them out. I'm more than willing to do that for free. That's fine. But if you're going to actually try to do, something, if you're going to model what you're doing after scientific method, you need to get paid and do the work correctly and have a certain amount of certain protocols and the professionalism that comes with that. Otherwise, we're not going to get anywhere.
All right, let's move on to Science Bob McGwier, because you have been paid to look into a lot of things over time, from space satellites to telecommunications, radio, everything, Bob, and now you're focusing on the UFO field. When you hear Alex say, look, research and proper research needs to have a budget. People need to be able to spend their time over and over again, and their time is worth something. What's your opinion on that?
Okay, so I agree, and here's the issue. He already pointed out what the primary issue is we've got 70, 80 years of shysters and hucksters and hoaxers, and in order to be taken seriously, you need to overcome that. So one of the things that I'm involved in to try to help with this is, of course, Sky Hub, where we're doing observational science, where we get enough data and observations using special equipment that's run autonomously so that scientific hypothesis can be done. And then the field has been helped a lot by the forming of the SCU, the explorescu.org, which is a group of scientists, engineers, philosophers, et cetera, all come together to try to do serious scientific and engineering work so that we can be taken seriously. Now, we need data that people can trust, and then we need science, engineering, data science, et cetera, done on the data, and that's why Sky Hub and others like it want to feed data to things like SCU, because until we wash ourselves clean of all the stink, of all of the hoaxsters, fakers, etc., the videos that are CGI and so forth, we will not get funding to continue the work in academic and other circles. And so, look, I'm just going to tell you what my goal is. Before I die, I want to be one of the first to get a National Science Foundation grant to do something that will help this field. And until we get ourselves really straight, clean, squeaky clean, following all sorts of proper protocols, it'll never happen.
All right, Richie G. Let's get you
He's
in on
right.
this one.
He's right. It'll never happen because it just won't. That's just the field. Everybody thinks they're right. Everybody thinks their research is the best. And when they can escape their ego and look into what other people are doing is when the magic happens. And I hope you're right. I hope that we do grow as a field over the years. And I don't have a problem with people making money in the field as long as they're not lying, faking, all that stuff. As far as going to someone's house or doing a UFO hunt, ghost hunt like I have, I've never charged anyone. And I know people who charge, but they get results. So I don't know where you draw the line. If the people are willing to give you the money, you should be able to say, no, I don't want it. I don't want it. We do this out of the goodness of our heart. You're having issues. You want answers. We got them for you. Can they get rid of those things? Would you pay somebody to get rid of that? Yes, there are people who will pay. I don't think that we should, though. I don't know why we shouldn't get paid for the hard work we do, but it's just the way it is in the field. I don't know why. I really can't put my finger on it. I think because there are people out there who are faking it and making money. So when you don't make money, you kind of look like a respectable type of person, I guess.
All right. Roy, I bring you in here now. Do you believe it's jealousy that people have that they're not getting paid where others, like whether it's Zach Bagans or Stephen Greer or any other the big names out there, are making a healthy living off of this?
I believe it can be some jealousy there. Like I say, you named some big people there that's doing a lot of work in the field, and I enjoy watching this show. So yeah, I believe you have some people who's probably meant for this, and they're getting paid. And I hear a lot of shows where we talk about guys who just put little teams together and go out, and they're really kind of doing the whole genre a disservice. So when you're really not built for this, and you're just out there just for the paycheck, I tend to want to deal and watch people who's here because they have a love and a passion for this, like I have, and I look at people like Archbishop James Cloud. We just finished talking about people who goes in people's homes and helps people out. He doesn't charge anything, and then he goes helps people who are in distress. They're being tormented by spirits or demons, whatever is going on in their homes, and he goes out and helps these people. And he's creating a service for the communities. And so I always applaud people like that. So, yes, I do believe it's jealousy.
But, Dave,
I
don't mean to jump in, but I have to because I think it's I lost my train of thought. Never mind.
Well, it was a good thought while it lasted, Rich.
It'll hit me later on, yeah.
That was brilliant.
Do you want me to shake the magic 8-ball just to see if you're able to get it back?
Yes.
All right, sure.
Okay. All right, let's shake the magic 8-ball. See, will Rich get that thought back? Hold on. And the answer is, it is decidedly so.
All right.
It is decidedly so. So it'll come back to you, and then you can jump back in. Lynn Wellington, our resident witch here, and trust me, she is the best-looking person on this panel tonight. In regards to everything that you have heard so far about people getting paid in this field, is it dirty money? Is it dirty to take money to try and do proper research in this field?
I don't know that I would ever say that it's dirty money. That's a very strong word, Dave. I would say that I don't think it is wrong to get paid to do research. But like everyone else, there does seem to be a difference between going into someone's house and helping them out versus doing legitimate scientific research. In that instance, I say no, there shouldn't be any reason why you wouldn't get paid. But I do think that if we want to do that, there need to be some sort of standardizations in place, something to come up with to legitimize it in a way that it would then require funding, if that makes sense.
Okay, Lynn, I'm curious to see, you've been in the paranormal UFO field for, a number of years now, and I think you have a very strong perspective and a good feel for what is going on. you've heard the nightmare stories of people ripping people off, but you've also seen people who have broken down in tears saying, I want to continue on. I just can't afford to do this anymore. At what point do we find the balance in accepting the fact that it's okay to get paid for your work or your efforts in this field?
No, you're absolutely right. That does happen. And that happens in the witch community as well. And I think some of it is the perspective of the people who are looking for the help. There are some people who get very upset when you ask for to be paid for your services, whatever those services may be, whether it's paranormal or, witch related, however it is. Some people get very upset and offended that you would even ask for money, which I always found interesting, that they seem, it does seem to suggest that our time and effort isn't necessarily worth being paid for, which never sat well with me. So I think, I don't know that I have an overall answer, but I would say it's on a case-by-case basis, depending on what it is you're doing. Like if I were to go into someone's house to do a cleansing, I've never asked to be paid for that. I wouldn't ask to be paid, but that's just because I personally wouldn't feel that it would be right to ask someone to pay me to do that. If I'm going to be doing that, I'm doing that to assist that person. And, but again, I wouldn't begrudge someone else who did ask to be paid for it.
I remembered, right. Dave.
Yeah, go ahead.
I remembered what I was going to say, and it goes along with what's being said right now. Nobody's being held accountable. There's no consequences if you don't do the right thing, because the reason people shouldn't be paid, because it's such a fringe science. It's not proven. Nobody has real, you're going to get mad, evidence that's consistent. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to compare one place to the other. It's very difficult.
Yeah, but if I may jump in, we don't have that because we don't have the money to go and do that.
I know.
And that's the problem, And again, and I know you and I really differ on that, and I get it, but it's not about having individual people pay us. It's about establishing a system where, we have sponsorship and we have maybe private funding available so we can go out and actually start doing proper work. And that's where the problem is. And a lot of the resistance is because people don't want to see people do that kind of work because a lot of people are going to be getting left out. And that includes a lot of people at the top of the food chain right now. And
we need a Bigelow.
And that's why
we
I
need
have
a
a problem
Bigelow.
with that.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. He still owes me money for Star Team, man. I never got any money.
Bob, would you agree with that?
No. The reason is pretty straightforward. The scientific community distrusts private funding because you're beholden to the private funder.
What does that mean?
What if we had a Bigelow? What if we had a Bigelow?
That's what I'm talking about. Bigelow owns you. Whatever data you find, Bigelow owns it. And that's not acceptable to the scientific community.
Just make a copy of everything.
If Bigelow allows it.
What he won't know won't kill him.
Oh, the power of Robert Bigelow's mustache has the ability to see the future and into what everyone is doing. Definitely, it is scary there. Okay. Last night we're changing topics. A couple nights ago, I had Jim Goodall on, who is a legend when it comes to Area 51, the SR 71, Black Projects. And, he was the first man to ever photograph publicly an F-117 stealth fighter. And this is a man who has had a lot of connections over the years and, talks about Area 51 as a very, very weird, strange place. He's been there 3 times, twice on the outside. Once, he believes, during his military career, he was actually in Area 51. He cannot prove that, though. But let's talk about Area 51. Ever since the popularity of storming Area 51, there's been a lot of debate surrounding whether or not there's any type of goodies there anymore. Are there aliens there? Are there not? Is a base just popular because of the name and the mysterious mystery around it? Have they moved all the good stuff out to places like Dugway in Utah or Wright-Patterson in Ohio? And, let's start with you on this one, Richie. Do you think Area 51 still has its dark secrets that we'd love to know about?
Of course. Why would you throw away all that land and, that nobody really can get to? Yeah, I still think there's stuff going on underground and at night. Why wouldn't there be? You can definitely see that the landscape keeps getting bigger. They keep adding stuff to the base. So obviously, yeah, we can see it every now and then, but still, yeah, I think, of course, why would they go? It's probably all over. It's all scattered throughout the whole country, underground, maybe in Antarctica. I don't know. The moon, it's definitely out there. I think it has to be, because it wouldn't be, I don't know, efficient to keep taking stuff there and shipping it over or going by submarine. I don't know. I think you just keep your stuff where it's at and you fly it wherever you want to. They can do whatever they want. Yeah,
Quest, let's bring you in here. Quest. And Roy Washington joins us now. Roy, do you think that Area 51 still has its secrets, or are we still putting a lot more into the mystery than what you think is there?
I think it still has the secrets. I think over the years, things have happened there, and I just think maybe an active spirit life, or just I don't know. I think it's still active. I think it's still a lot of things there, a lot of secrets there, and that stuff don't go away. It lingers. Whether you move whatever you have there to another area, expand it to other areas, you still have that spirit life and that presence of things that done happened, secrets and everything. So it's still active.
Roy, in your heart of hearts, what do you think is there? Do you think they got them aliens there?
Yes, I do. Now they may have like say moved the operations to other places. I wouldn't know, but if they've been there before, I think there's things that have taken place there, and that hovers over that area that will always be there.
Well, that's an interesting thought right there. The rest of the crew, Alex, Bob, and Lynn, I'm going to get you guys to hold on. I want to get your opinions on Area 51, but we are just way too short until we take a break here. So I'm just going to ramble on and fill some airtime, because that's kind of what we do with the Paranormal Roundtable here. And so when I talk, you know that we're obviously close to break time, because, well, no point in starting an answer when we got to cut them off, right? The SOR Paranormal Roundtable, we have a great panel. Roy Washington, Lynn Wellington, Rich Giordano, Bob McGwier, and Alex Mistretta continues next on Spaced Out Radio.
Hey, space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. If you know anything about our website, you'd know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Chive Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
From the heartlands of Canada to beards around the world, we know how to take care of you. Fill your follicles with the Mighty Moose Beard Oil. All our oils and balms are handmade and 100% natural ingredients because we care about your beard. And hey, use the promo code SOR2019 and get your Mighty Moose Beard Oil today. You can check us out on our website, mightymoosebeard.com.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know little brother is watching.
Hey everybody, the SOR Space Travelers is open. For just $5 a month, you can hang out with Dave and our crew privately in our members-only section. With your signing, you'll receive newsletters on what's going on with Spaced Out Radio. You'll have direct contact with the host during the show in our chat, live streaming videos, and a great forum for your posts and more. Become a space traveler now at spacedoutradio.com.
You wanted new SOR gear, and now you can have it. The SOR Vault is fully stocked with t-shirts, hats, hoodies, mugs, and everything in between, with great logos for you to choose from. So head on over to spacedoutradio.com, click on the SOR Vault, and go shopping. Pricing is quite affordable, and you can look good representing your favorite show. So go to our website and pick up your new SOR wear at the SOR Vault today.
If you like it hot, real hot, then heat up your meals with Bumblefoot hot sauce.
Get your Bumblefoot hot sauce today. The sauce, Bumblicious, and the 4 million Scoville unit Bumble. We're going in hot, real hot, coming out even hotter.
Keep the milk nearby and tantalize your taste buds tonight.
Bumblefoot hot sauce, available now at kajans.com.
Cold drinks, great food, and the best music in Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is the place to be, open until 2 a.m. nightly. Everything on the menu starts at just $6.95. Who serves food that cheap anymore? At the Moose, you'll never know who you'll run into. Rock stars, actors, athletes. It's the place everyone wants to be. So join us at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Hello, Space Travelers. It's me again, Carl. Don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month, and follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Come woo it up with Spaced Out Radio today. Bye!
Are you looking for great advertising value for your company? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. We have a multitude of places to get your name out there, including commercial ads during the show, special promotions, and banners on our website. Our audience is proven to support the companies that support our show. We can make your budget work for you. So for more information, please contact us at sales@spacedoutradio.com.
At spacedoutradio.com, we are keeping you up to date on all the news with the SOR Newswire. Captain Shirk leads the team that is bringing you the news of the day and exclusive stories on everything paranormal and supernatural. It's free to read, it's updated daily, and it's right there for you. The SOR Newswire is a one-stop shop for the news of the day. Check it out at spacedoutradio.com today.
We're taking Sunday nights out of this world on Spaced Out Radio. This is Michael W. Hall, also known as the Paranormal Lawyer. Together, we're going to go on an exciting journey into the unknown. I'm going to bring you some of the best interviews in the paranormal and supernatural to start your new week off on a freaky note. So tune in to Spaced Out Sundays with me, Michael W. Hall, only on spacedoutradio.com.
Second half hour of Spaced Out Radio has kicked off here tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Thank you so much for tuning us in. I want to remind you that if you miss portions of this show or others, check out our free archives by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. Tonight we have the SOR Roundtable. We are joined by Science Bob McGwier, Lynn Wellington, Rich Giordano, Alex Mistretta, and Roy Washington. And we're talking Area 51 right now. What do you think is there? What is still hiding? Lynn Wellington, let's get to you right now. What do you think?
I don't know. I might have the unpopular view and say that I don't know that there is anything UFO ET related there. I think they probably are still working with experimental aircraft there, but I just think too many people are aware of it at this point to have anything as controversial as that. I don't know.
You don't think that J-Rod is still jumping around there somewhere, hopping in and out of alien ships?
I don't know. It's possible. I'd say if they do have anything, it would definitely be underground. But my gut just says I think it's just more experimental aircraft there than anything.
Gotcha. Science Bob, let's get your opinion.
So I have a slightly different perspective. I have actually been there multiple times. So the things that I would do there is test equipment. And that's about as far as I can go since the equipment was all classified. But our resident witch is correct. The United States government still tests aircraft there. People know stealth bombers, stealth fighters, SR-71, U-2, all of those things were either built or tested there. So it's still a fantastic place for doing that kind of testing, given that you can keep people away from there. And a lot of people don't know the Nellis Air Force Base bombing range test site runways or the airplanes take off from there. And Tonopah Basin is still close to there. And while we no longer set off nuclear weapons underground, that's certainly where we set off nuclear weapons underground. So I'm sure those facilities are maintained. So it's dry, high, and hot as heck during the day. And you are extremely cut off from looking at anything you shouldn't. So I saw nothing of interest. Now, I want to remind people there's a lot of difference between Area 51 or Groom Lake or whatever you want to call it and Papoose Lake. And Papoose Lake is where, off the edge of it, is where Bob Lazar claimed S4 was. And we know that George called up the Nellis, etc., and asked, was S4 a thing there? And they told him yes. So that's as much as I know about S4 because I've never been there. But Barack Obama declassified Area 51 by discussing it inside the White House in front of television cameras when he hung the Presidential Medal of Freedom around somebody's neck whose name I can't remember.
Good times. Way to break our hearts, Bob. Thanks for that. Appreciate that. Just because you didn't see any aliens there, doesn't mean that they're not hiding in those bases that go 38 stories down.
I don't claim to know what's in what I didn't see. What I did see was things I was testing.
Well, you're not allowed to tell us about that. You're not allowed to tell us about the toys you were playing with.
I can't tell you what toys I was playing with.
That's right. All right, Alex Mistretta, let's get to you for the final word on this.
Well, I think it's primarily what it's always been. That's to test the next generation stealth aircrafts. I think that's probably what 90% of stuff that goes on there. Is there? And again, like Science Bob was saying, everything's so compartmentalized, not just in terms of who's working on what, but also from area to area. So it's a big place. There's a lot of room out there for whatever else. Is there aliens there? Crash saucers? I have no idea whatsoever, to be honest. I can't answer that because I don't know.
All right, well, let's move on to the whole crash saucer topic now, because this is another one that made a lot of big news in the month of August in regards to whether or not the United States is or inhabits or holds on to any type of foreign metal not made of this earth. Now, there's been a lot of accusations about this. The government has denied this. Other people involved with the TTSA say there may be materials from non-human make here on this planet. And you know what? I don't know what to make of it. I want to believe that aliens have crashed. I mean, there's enough evidence with Roswell and other types of crashes that I'm sure there's something there. Science Bob, we're going to kick it off with you here. Do you think we have alien materials on this planet made by extraterrestrials?
I think we have materials on this planet that came from other places other than the Earth. And I can say that emphatically because I've held a piece of Mars that was found in Antarctica. Do we have alien craft from another star system? I don't know whether we do, but we certainly know that in the last month or so, Eric Davis has really been talking a lot about his testimony in front of the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence, the Armed Services Committee, and so forth, and saying that he told people that we have materials that were not made by humans, that he had seen and that we possess, and gave them information about who they could call on the carpet, put under oath, and testify to whether or not these materials existed and where they came from. So I think we're in for an interesting few months coming up with Rubio, et cetera's Senate bill and the House bill, and put together and signed by the president. The Pentagon is required to make a public report. And that will be very cool, especially if they say, we have materials and pieces of a vehicle. We have no idea where they came from. So I think there's a lot of interesting stuff happening, and it does seem to be heating up.
All right, Bob, I want to ask you about this, though, because, I mean, you know the players involved. You know, you've worked with a few of them, you know, way behind the scenes over the years, because that community of working for the government in the scientific form is actually a pretty small community. Would you put it past any government of this world having down spacecraft from extraterrestrials?
I believe that the governments around the world have secret stuff that they don't tell anybody about, and they've gone to extreme lengths to sequester, box off, cut off, separate any of it from reasonable oversight. They've worked really, really hard to make it possible to keep things secret. Something seems to have changed, though. We've gone from stories of people being threatened, stories of people being kidnapped, stories of people have all sorts of bad things being done to them to keep them quiet, to people coming out and talking about things openly. I mean, Christopher Mellon and Lou Elizondo on Unidentified's last two shows, I mean, they were talking about UFOs and alien-flown UFOs and alien abductions. That is a major change from 2016.
Very true. Very true. Roy, let's get you in here. Your thoughts.
As far as us having materials from other solar systems, or
I think alien crash vehicles.
It would be intelligent to hold on to that, to do research on it. I don't know why they would be discarded. They would be intelligent to have that, and our scientists research it and maybe give us a heads up and an advantage that may help us out somewhere down the line with that type of technology. Yes.
Do you think, though, that that technology is here, that it will ever get out to the public, though, if we do have it?
No, I don't think they share enough with us for it to get out to the public. But as far as with for our military and things like that, I think that we a little more advanced than what we're being led to believe. And I do think that they have these crafts and are testing them, and that behind closed doors a lot of research is going on. So they're doing a lot of things that we don't know of yet, that they're not sharing with us. And you see a lot of times these people who used to be in the army or in the military, even when you come to cryptids, running into seeing things and running into certain cryptids and things that are abnormal, and they're being forced to be quiet. So yes, there's a lot of secrets out there, and yes, I think we do.
All right. Lynn, I want to get you in here. Crash retrievals. You've worked for free experiencers. This is kind of close to your heart at one point. Do you think the secrets are out there, that we do have these materials and that they are being studied?
Well, I certainly can't say yes or no one way or the other, but I would say that I wouldn't be surprised if we do. And the question that you had asked earlier, I think it was, is whether or not we would ever be told about that. That I think is probably less likely. Maybe years and years down the road. However, we have made such advancements in our aircraft and in a lot of the newer materials that we see coming out, every year, it seems, that it wouldn't surprise me that maybe there was some inspiration behind those, let's say.
What kind of inspiration?
Well, I don't know. I don't have the materials.
Well, I know this, but, inspire us with the answer, lady. Let's do this.
I don't know. Let me pull out the Ouija board, the pendulum. Let me see what I can do.
Perfect.
I don't know. If they do have materials, I'm sure they've studied them. I'm sure they're trying to figure out what exactly they're made of, how they work, that type of inspiration.
Absolutely. Thank you, Lynn. Little Richie G.
Yeah, what's up?
How you doing, bud?
I'm doing all right.
Good.
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm good. While we're here, I was just wondering, crash sites. I think of San Augustine. I think of Roswell. I think of Kecksburg, and so many others that have been reported on over the years. Do you believe that we are, or that we currently have, any type of alien technology on this planet that is being covered up?
Yeah, I do. Well, here's how I think it's happened, because I don't believe that these aliens are crashing. All right, I don't believe it. I don't even think Roswell is what it is. Sorry for those out there who believe it, historians. But I just think that, like Bob Lazar said, they found these things in archaeological dig sites, and they back engineered it, and everything we've been seeing is just us. I'm beginning to believe that. Ask me tomorrow, it might be different. But I do think we have some reverse technology, of course, from some sort of alien craft off-world, from another planet. Yeah.
Maybe we do. Maybe we do.
We
Alex,
do.
Well, where is it then?
You're seeing it, but you're not. You hear about it. People are seeing UFOs. People are getting abducted, are they not? It's in the millions. It's not in the hundreds. It's in millions of people have been abducted over 70 years. Something's happening. So if something's happening, then I believe that we have to be working in cahoots with the aliens somehow for, technology.
All right, Alex, you get the final word on this.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think the data suggests that there's definitely been some material recovered at some point, whether it's from a crashed saucer or it's an archaeological discovery. Maybe a little bit of both. But the question for me is whether the people that are telling us that they have this stuff are the people that really have this stuff, or whether these people really are the people that really know where this material comes from, what it does, are they the ones really testing it? I think there's two different groups there. I think there's this this kind of the so-called disclosure group we're seeing right now, on the TV shows and TTSA and all that. But I think beyond their reach, I think there's another group that's really in the know. And I don't think they're going to let the ultimate secret out. I mean, you have to kind of think about it. If you're from a U.S. government standpoint, or Brazil government, or even Russia, I've actually talked to some people in Russia, some ex-KGB people about this years ago. And if you have something that's violating our airspace, and it's not infallible because obviously it's crashing once in a great while, but are you going to go out to the public and admit that something is violating your airspace and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it? From a power standpoint, that seems counterproductive. So that's why whatever's going on right now, I think with the show and TTS and all that is not the true disclosure. So the stuff's out there, but what we're getting is probably not the real truth from my perspective.
So, Alex, you said something very interesting, that you believe there is some other group out there that is controlling the agenda. Who do you think they are?
Well, whether it's like the military-industrial complex, I mean, anytime they're going to find, let's say they're going to find an alien spacecraft, theoretically, or even something from an art that dates back to 10,000 years ago and it doesn't seem to be human, whatever. The first thought is, how can we turn this into a weapon? How can we make money off this? And, senators, and all due respect to Harry Reid, who seems like a good guy, those aren't the people that are going to profit from this. So whoever's actually going to profit from this, from a military standpoint, from a power standpoint, are the people who are in the know. And we don't know who those people are because of that's just the way things work. So, again, it's that old military-industrial complex, which is very different from this mythical, like, deep state where he seems to be on right now. And, it goes much deeper, I think, than what we're being told.
Let me give you a quick remark.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. I was just going to bring you in.
Okay, so, look, if the United States government has a bunch of crashed craft, let's just suppose that for a moment, and they might even be able to operate them, but they don't really understand how they function. They don't understand all the pieces enough to say how they function. They can, get it to wobble around and fly a little bit. They're not going to tell the world about it because they will be in constant fear that if they tell the world about it, and the Russians might figure it out, and then we don't have it and they do. So it's just that kind of thinking that just causes all of this secrecy. And that's just one scenario that would explain the secret of why we would cover it up. Even though we know it, we might be able to do something with it, but we don't completely know how it works. But we don't want the Russians to figure out how it works, or the Chinese.
Or terrorists, yeah.
Yeah, or terrorists or anything else. We just don't want others to figure it out before we figure it out. I think that's probably the principal reason we're keeping it secret, though there are others.
Do any of you know whether or not there are crash retrieval teams set up around the world? Would we even know this?
I mean, I do know this, and I have no idea if it's true or not, but like years ago, and I was working with some intelligence people in Europe, because I'm pretty lucky. I have some connections out there through one of my stepdads. And we got in touch with some ex-KGB people in Russia. And according to them, they had recovered one aircraft at some point, one, alien aircraft. And it's, again, I'm 50-50, I have no idea if it's true or not. And they said that they had a team in place since then, and, they have films of it and the whole thing. And that's, again, it's an interesting story, but so I have no idea. But it makes sense that they would put a team together for this very purpose, just in case.
Do you think the Allies have anything as a board? Anybody feel free to jump in on this one. Do you think the Allies have anything, probably led by the United States military, that if a crash happens somewhere, that they get first dibs on it?
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I would think that they would want something in place, even if they haven't found anything yet. And I'm not saying that they haven't, but I think it would be irresponsible not to have something in place.
Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, someone would be dispatched out there. Yes, and I think that was Science Bob that was speaking on us, holding back information because of some of our counterparts. I totally agree with that. And I mean, Russia probably, yeah, but Japan really scares me. Japan and China with the way they go about their technology, I think they're a little bit ahead of us. And working in the school system for so many years, I've always seen a different level of concentration when it comes to those type of students as opposed to ours.
Oh,
very true.
Also, do you remember that story? Also, remember that story in Brazil with Virginia with I don't know how to pronounce it, Virginia or Virginia, but there was a crash and there was a little beans that those three girls claim to have seen.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
well, part of the story involved, yeah, right. Part of that story involved the U.S. military being there just a few days later, right? So, and again, I mean, the data is an issue. Right? You never know how true some of these stories are. There hasn't been a whole lot of work done on it, but it stands to reason that if military is already there 2-3 days after an event happens, that they already have a team in place for this kind of stuff. Whatever that, whatever, it might not be just specific to crash, obviously, because those are pretty rare, but they've got to have a team in place to deal with this kind of phenomena. I mean, it just makes sense.
Right. Science Bob, you've been very quiet.
Oh, I don't like to be quiet. So look, I know the following to be true. We have teams that recover crashes. We have spy planes crash in and or around us from our adversaries, and we have teams that go and get them. So the same kind of team having that kind of experience would easily be applicable to go and find a craft from we don't know where and recover it. So, and we've covered. There are numerous stories you go read about in books and papers and so forth about crashes or theft that we have done on other countries, airplanes, etc. And so, yes, we have those teams, and the stories are out there. I'm sure the same teams could go out and grab a UFO.
Look at that. That's when Science Bob speaks. We all listen there. We've got about 1 minute here before we have to go to break at the top of the hour. And, Bob, I'm just curious in regards to something else Alex said about that there is some sort of secret team running ufology outside of what we know with the government or to the Stars Academy. Do you believe this to be true, or do you think there is something or that is just convoluted information?
No, I don't believe it's convoluted. So I have myself been a member of special access programs where I couldn't even tell you the name of it. I couldn't tell you the name of the company. I can't even admit it existed. And I worked on it for several years. So outside of that, that's all I can say. So I know those kinds of programs exist because I have been in them. They just had nothing to do with UFOs.
All right, that's a great place to stop it right there as we are going to go through hour one and into hour number two here on the SOR Roundtable. Our panel tonight, podcaster Roy Washington. We have Science Bob McGwier. We have Lynn Wellington. Alex Mistretta, researcher extraordinaire, never goes on a research without a T-shirt hanging on his side. And, of course, the man, the myth, and the YouTube legend, Goof On's own Rich Giordano. Coming up when we come back, how many Pericarrians are out there in the paranormal world? We'll find out from the panel next on Spaced Out Radio.
I'm feeling a little spicy tonight. What to do? What to do?
Why not get Bumblefuck?
4 million Scoville units of pure hard rock. Bumblefoot hot sauces come in 3 flavors. The burning Bumble. Tone it down a bit with Bumblicious and throw the sauce on everything.
Spice it up. Bumble me, baby. Bumblefoot hot sauce. Get it today at kajans.com.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at MightyMooseBeard.com today.
Hello, space travelers. It's me again, Carl. Don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month and follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Come woo it up with Spaced Out Radio today. Bye!
For the price of 1 cup of coffee a month, you can become an SOR Space Traveler. The Space Travelers Club is a place where you can interact with other listeners, either live during the show or on our great forum. We want your stories, pictures, comments, and ideas. You'll get live video streams, exclusive content, and be a part of our newsletter. Stay in touch with everything SOR. The Space Travelers Club is just $5 a month at spacedoutradio.com.
The SOR Vault is open for business, and do we have some cool swag for you to pick up? All you have to do is head over to our website and click on the SOR Vault. You have a variety of cool logos to choose from, and put them on anything you want. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, coffee mugs, you name it, we can get it to you. So do your shopping by supporting the store you love. Get your Spaced Out Radio swag at the SOR Vault today.
Are you an experiencer of something strange that can't be explained? Do you want help finding out what's going on? I'm Ryan Stacy, head of the Experiencer Support Association, otherwise known as TESSA. We've teamed up with Spaced Out Radio to investigate cases filled out in the SOR Sightlines report. We are independent and there's no cost to what we do. All we need is your experience. Let's find out what's happening together on the SOR Sightlines report.
Hi there, this is the paranormal lawyer Michael W. Hall. I'd like to invite you to listen in each Sunday night where we're going to open up your eyes to everything strange and paranormal. I will be hosting some great guests with topics that affect us all, such as UFOs, ghosts, and everything paranormal. Let's learn together on Spaced Out Radio Sunday with myself, Michael W. Hall, the paranormal lawyer at spacedoutradio.com.
Hey, space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Chive Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Hi, this is Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel where we store all of the SOR show archives for free. And as an added bonus, every 2 weeks I'm posting brand new content on Cryptid Tales, where I will get into some of the spookier legends and folklore from around the world and tell the stories that go with them. Find us at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio and check out Cryptid Tales today. Drop a comment and let me know what you want to hear. See you there.
The party is always on at the Moose Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is where you want to be when visiting Canada's West Coast. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose cranks up the rock while serving some of the best rated food in the city. The menu starts at $6.95. Why party anywhere else in Vancouver when the Moose is right there? Get your horns up and rock with the Moose, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Get your horns up with me on Spaced Out Radio. This is Ron Bumblefoot Thal. Come tune in to SOR where you can hear me rock out with Little Brother is Watching, the official theme song of Spaced Out Radio. And then come on over to bumblefoot.com where you can find out about my tour schedule, my music, and everything else. Bumblefoot.com keeps you up to date on what I'm doing and the best way to stay in touch with my music and music camps. Sign up for my newsletter at bumblefoot.com and remember, Little Brother is watching.
We are scouring the world for the most intriguing stories of your day. Take the time to read up on the SOR Newswire, where our team, led by Captain Shirk, will deliver to you some of the best paranormal and supernatural news, along with some stories that will blow your mind from the weird to the wacky. It's the news outside the news that piques interest, and that's what we're looking to deliver to you. The SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott. Follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Facebook, Spaced Out Radio Show.
Hour number 2 of Spaced Out Radio is underway tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott. Thank you so much for taking the time to spend with us. We really do appreciate it, especially those listening in on our terrestrial affiliates around North America and digitally on TalkStream Live and Revolution Radio. All of our archives are free by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club, Pentagrulian. Pentagrulian is your password. Use it wisely, space travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. Tonight we are talking with a panel of the SOR Roundtable. We are joined tonight by Lynn Wellington, our resident witch. We have podcaster Roy Washington. We have Alex Mistretta, researcher extraordinaire. We have Science Bob McGwier from Science Bob and Friends. And from Goof On, we have Rich Giordano. And we're going to get into a little bit of a funny but controversial topic here. So how this came about was I had my buddy Merle call me up about a week ago. And he's like, dude, I am getting so sick of the Pericarrians in this field. And I said, Pericarrians? This is hilarious. What a fantastic term to bring up. Pericarrians. I never thought about that. I said, I said, define Pericarrians for me. He's like, Dave, he goes, everywhere I turn, I see all of these paranormal people who I am now deeming Pericarrians. They are going around in their province or their state, and they are trying to lock down locations so other groups can't investigate there. They're trying to lock down the social media by shooting down other people. They're talking poorly of each other, and it's just really getting sickening. So my question to the panel tonight, and Alex, we'll start with you on this one. Is it really, really fundamentally important to be the biggest group on Facebook or to lock down locations so other paranormal teams in your province or state or city cannot investigate there? Or is this just pure egomania?
It's egomania. I mean, you know me, I've always pushed the idea that this is something we should be sharing with the world. This phenomenon doesn't belong to us. It belongs to everybody. And once you start locking down areas or not allowing someone to your secret spot or whatever, you're undermining research, because it's like, this is the paranormal UFO cryptology. It's a globalist field, you know, and once you start looking from it's almost like a nationalistic point of view, where this is ours, and everybody else get out, you know, or for me, a Southern California guy, it's like the dudes at the beach, like, bro, this is my wave, get out, this is our spot, you know? It defeats the whole purpose of what should be about. This is about gathering information. This is about progress. It's about making us better. It's about sharing it with everybody else. And if we actually coordinate our efforts, because, again, somebody just said diversity matters early on, which is absolutely 100% on, very true. You get inputs from different groups with different skill sets, from different abilities, different Some people bring in, equipment that you don't have or ideas you don't have, and that's how we progress towards getting answers. If your description of paranormal Karens are people, again, that don't want answers. They want just to have a good time and be their guy in their being the big fish in a small pond. And that doesn't get us anywhere. It's wrong. It's fundamentally wrong and against everything we should stand for.
I agree with you. Lynn, I want your opinion on this.
I agree 100% with what you guys were just saying. I think that if you only have one group that has a certain area, which just seems ridiculous in and of itself to me, you aren't getting, so sorry, my dog's going crazy. You aren't getting a multitude of perspectives, and everybody's going to come at it from a different perspective. Sorry, the cat just came in the room, so my dogs are going crazy. So she has a lot to say on the subject.
Apparently.
So if you have different people coming from different schools of thought investigating the same thing, then we're going to get a bunch of different angles on it. And eventually we can piece those all together. So if you're limiting who can access what area, we're going to miss out on that.
Yeah, we are. Bob, I want to ask you in regards to this, okay? Because one thing that I have noticed from a lot of paranormal teams out there, my friend, is, and you and I kind of talked about it from my blog last week, about the science behind the research of the paranormal field. I don't agree that there's a lot of science, true science going on with this. And when I talk to a lot of paranormal teams, when I ask them what do they do with their evidence, there's not much of a response outside of we collect it, we go over it. There's no cross-referencing. There's no trying to match up with other teams and what they may have received at certain locations, maybe the same location. There's not a lot of that going on. How are we supposed to find answers if we got a bunch of Pericarrians out there who are running around hoarding evidence, trying to hoard locations, and not really, to me, it doesn't benefit the field. Could I be wrong on that, or what's your opinion?
No, you're absolutely right. So look, if every field where there's not a firm theory of how things work, first thing you do is a bunch of observational science. And observational science means you observe the phenomenon that happened around the place, the entity, the whatever that you're trying to discover something about. And once you have a bunch of data, only then can you formulate a falsifiable hypothesis. So with a bunch of data, you can make a falsifiable hypothesis, and then the next step is go out and try to find evidence that the hypothesis is wrong. And if you keep going, after a long while, you go, look, I've tried about 1,000 random trials, and I can't falsify this hypothesis. Maybe now it's a theory. And so that's how it works. And unless everyone takes their data, puts it all together in a pile, does it openly and transparently, and shares it with everyone, no objective science can be done. Okay.
So is that the fault of the paranormal field or the egos that are trying to control it?
There's more than one factor in this. Lots of people in the field have been made fun of. Everybody that sees a ghost or a UFO or a cryptid or does magical incantations and believes in the secret cipher of the euphonauts or whatever, they're all crazy. So they're isolated from society of scientists by being called names or ostracized or whatever. But that seems to be slowly but surely passing. But there's damage that's been done to their psyche, their groups. And so the typical normal run-of-the-mill scientist that might be able to really, really help probably doesn't interact with them enough to help them with doing credible observational science. I just think it's a lot of factors: social, professional, lots of factors that cause it not to work well.
All right, Roy, let's bring you in here and let us know. What's your opinion of the paranormal world with these Pericarrians out there?
Well, I think it was said earlier, which I agree with. I think everybody has something to bring to the table. Everybody have different areas where they're strong, and some might be weak in that area. And I think if everybody work together and bring their findings together, I think we'll be much farther ahead. Just trying to dominate and try to have the big numbers and everything, that don't mean you're the most effective. So let's say everybody work together, and then we can really have more. Research probably be a little better. We'll be farther along with our knowledge of what's going on out there.
And the thing that's disappointing to me is that we have a lot of smart people working in the field. It doesn't matter whether, we're focusing on the ghost portion here for a second here. Okay, but there's a lot of brilliant people working in this field, and it really shows the immaturity of the investigators who are out there if they're not willing to work with other teams to try and figure out some answers. Because out of everything that I've seen, Rich, when it comes to paranormal teams, they really, really do not like to work with each other. They want to hoard their evidence. They don't want to try and bring perspectives to each other to try and cross-reference. It really has a weekend warrior type mentality. And to me, we're never going to get anything accomplished unless we start bringing that evidence and using it together. Or is the ego just too strong in the field, Rich, to even be able to think of something that easy and that obvious?
Well, I was thinking it isn't the ego. I think people are afraid to show other people their evidence in fear of being told you don't have anything. Because that's something I've come across with a lot of these people in ufology. It's the same thing. I think people share more in ufology than they do in ghost world, whatever, spiritual stuff. If we don't see what they have, then how are we supposed to help each other? Right. That's what we've been hearing. It's been repeated. That has to happen. I didn't know these type of people even existed. I guess I'm not in the social media for ghosts enough, but I didn't know there were people out there. I don't come across that as much in Arizona. So if that's happening somewhere, it's awful. But people are afraid you're going to look at their stuff and say, that's pareidolia, or that's just a shadow, or I didn't hear what you heard. I heard nothing. It's like people don't want to be let down. So they'd rather not share it, rather, keep you away. And that's where the ego comes in, I think, because they think they have a foothold on this area, and that might be their cash cow or something in the future. Who knows what they're thinking? But you can't trust those people if they're out there. They got something to hide. They usually do.
No, they usually do. And I want to switch. Go ahead, please.
Dave?
I was you brought up a really good point. That's the fear factor, the fear of being wrong.
Yeah.
And if you don't go out there and you're willing to be wrong, you're not really, you're doing yourself and the field a disservice.
I spent 11 months videotaping iridium flare satellites thinking I'm getting UFOs. Nobody told me. Then one day, 11 months into it, a guy says, you know what you're doing, catching iridium flare satellites. What did I do? Took everything off my website, apologized, and explained what I learned. I didn't cry, I didn't care, because that's what I'm looking for. That's why we post it. That's why we have to share it. And people like that, they don't want to share it. They got something to hide.
You got that right. Yeah, go ahead.
I remember a classic when I first started listening to Darkness Radio with Dave Schrader and Tim Dennis. They had this guy on who had these EVPs, and this one EVP that he said just nobody could decipher. It was it was AVS Media Demo. The voice kept coming on, and he thought that was an EVP, but it was really a watermark to the software he was using. And Dave Dave Schrader and Tim brought that up to him, and he got upset. But yeah, so that's what someone else was talking about as far as the fear of somebody, telling you, showing you that your evidence may be a little wrong or tainted or not what you think it is. That was a great example right there, and that's a classic episode, and I still have that in my archives. So it's great.
Very, very impressive. Thank you for sharing that. I want to switch topics here, okay? We're going to stick in the paranormal for a couple of seconds, but I got to tell you, when I was writing my blog last week in regards to the paranormal and the Pericarrians, I started thinking about this pretty heavily, and one of the things that just irks me, and I don't know why, but if you're a paranormal team out there, why on your website do you have to advertise who the resident skeptic is? If you're not doing your investigations properly, okay, you should, or if you're doing them properly, you should be able to understand, holy cow, who the hell is washing dishes back there? Lynn, is that your air conditioner again?
It is not me.
Anyways.
Sorry.
Anyways. Yeah, I figured that was Mistretta. He's walking around. He's walking around his condo in L.A. right now, shirtless. He's got the bartender's towel over his shoulder, and he just spilled his martini. That's exactly what happened right there. Exactly what happened. Absolutely. Anyways, one of the things that picks my hide about these paranormal teams is they all have these so-called resident skeptics. My argument to it is this. If you're not skeptical enough on your own to be able to tell what is somebody walking along a wood floor and the difference between that and a car driving by, you probably should not be in the field. All right. So I'm curious, do we really need, Rich, a bunch of resident skeptics on these paranormal teams to make them look more credible?
Yeah. I'm glad you came to me first because I couldn't hold this in. Yes. You don't want to, because when you look at your own stuff, right, you're going to fall in love with it. If you think it's paranormal, you got to have an unbiased, somebody who's neutral, doesn't really care. That's why you have to have your resident skeptic. You have to keep grounded somehow. You can't look at your own stuff. You're going to fall in love with it. That's the problem. And that's what a lot of people do. They fall in love with it. So show the resident skeptic, let him say or she say whatever they think it is, and now you got an unbiased opinion. It's perfect.
I disagree with you.
You shouldn't.
It's like there has to be this person. Okay, you don't see some of the bigger names out there, and I'm thinking Timothy Renner, I'm thinking David Weatherly, people of that ilk, having to tow along Joe or Jane Smith because they are my skeptic. You don't see that happening. Bad.
That's bad. I wish I had somebody over my shoulder the whole time, keep me grounded. And I did for the first couple of years. When I lost that, I started believing stuff. No, you got to get somebody else who doesn't care, what you do. You just show that person. And I don't want it to be a debunker. I'd like to be somebody with an open mind, of course, but those people are hard to find too, because they may turn everything away and then you get discouraged. Like, what are we doing with this person? They hate everything. So I could see it both ways, but I think you need to have somebody who's unbiased. Dave, you're wrong on this one. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're wrong. You are so wrong, brother.
No, I'm not wrong. I know I'm
you
right.
You are so wrong on this one.
Because that's the ego. You think you're that good that you don't need somebody else to look at your stuff. That's yes.
I'm not saying that. I am totally not saying that. No, I'm saying that you should be able to be mature enough to be your own worst critic. Of course, you want to turn your evidence over to someone to have a secondary view on it. Absolutely. But for these paranormal teams out there who have to have the resident skeptic who comes in there, I don't believe in this. I'm here to make sure that everything is running A-okay because I've worked with copper wire once in making some fancy metal macrame.
Yeah, that's right. Because they did something unique that created the same paranormal experience. Yes, something they couldn't think of. And that's what you need. You need somebody smart. It's very hard to find those people.
All right.
I've been doing it by myself, and I've been wrong a few times, and that really hurts. So I go to people now more than ever. You need to.
Right.
You need to.
Oh, wow. All right, Roy, help me out here.
No.
You on Team Richie or on Team Dave?
I know my bread is buttered. Team Dave.
Hey, no, but on a serious,
that was obvious.
Smart man.
Hey, have you ever been to my show? I have giveaways on mine.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What do you want? A Google Nest? What do you want? A hub? I got them all.
Bribery apparently has its privileges right now on Spaced Out Radio.
Joke.
Yes.
All right, Roy, seriously, though, what's your opinion on all of these paranormal teams having to have positions like the resident skeptic?
Well, I don't know. I just like we've been saying, I just feel like just because you consider yourself to be the big fish, don't necessarily mean you're the most effective team. I think there's some, like I said, there's some teams that may do things that, they're a little stronger in some areas than others. And if everybody just work together, I think we'd be more effective, and then we'd learn a lot more.
All right. Do you believe then that people should have different positions within these teams?
Oh yes, most definitely. You have a paranormal team going into a building that's very active, and I've always wondered this myself, why that if you run into something that's more than just a pissed off or mad spirit or something, you run into something that's the real deal. You're going to need somebody who's heavily anointed to deal with that type of thing and to cover everyone else and protect everyone else. You're going to have people who's great with the equipment, great with the audio equipment or video equipment. You have others who's great with research, and everybody have their place on that team. And then if you can perfect your craft on that team, that makes the team even much better.
Okay, let's move on here. Alex, I know you're probably warming up for this one. You've probably already done a few lunges and stretches.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't believe in belief. So what should be your approach? Okay, first of all, when you're talking about the resident skeptic, you're mostly talking about a lot of these TV teams, right? Most of them are actors anyway, so it doesn't even matter. It's all scripted, and somebody has to act a certain way. But in the field, I agree. I mean, that's just, I've been on enough. I've been for enough of those that I know that works. But in the field, everybody should have an area of expertise, right? So you bring a different perspective to the problem. But that area of expertise doesn't come with a belief system or a negation to the phenomena you're studying. It just strictly based on what your expertise is. And so it's irrelevant. You don't have to have somebody that believes or someone that doesn't. It's, in fact, then that's completely counterproductive in that sense. So, no, you shouldn't have a skeptic along, because everybody should be a skeptic, but everybody should be able to analyze your results fairly. Otherwise, what are you doing this for? It's just, I don't really get. Yeah, I'm completely I don't even know how to answer that, to be honest with you. But the point is, your analysis has to be fair. You have to look at the analysis independently, even if it's yours.
All right.
Like, for example,
Alex, hold right there, because we do have to go to break here at the bottom of the hour. Alex Mistretta, Bob McGwier, Lynn Wellington, Rich Giordano, and Roy Washington join me, Dave Scott, on the SOR Roundtable, talking Pericarrians right after this.
Cold drinks, great food, and the best music in Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is the place to be, open until 2 a.m. nightly. Everything on the menu starts at just $6.95. Who serves food that cheap anymore? At the Moose, you'll never know who you'll run into. Rock stars, actors, athletes, It's the place everyone wants to be. So join us at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
From the heartlands of Canada to beards around the world, we know how to take care of you. Fill your follicles with the Mighty Moose Beard Oil. All our oils and balms are handmade and 100% natural ingredients because we care about your beard. And hey, use the promo code SOR2019 and get your Mighty Moose Beard Oil today. You can check us out on our website, mightymoosebeard.com.
Hello, space travelers. It's me again, Carl. Don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month and follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Come woo it up with Spaced Out Radio today. Bye!
Hey everybody, the SOR Space Travelers is open. For just $5 a month, you can hang out with Dave and our crew privately in our members-only section. With your signing, you'll receive newsletters on what's going on with Spaced Out Radio. You'll have direct contact with the host during the show in our chat, live streaming videos, and a great forum for your posts and more. Become a space traveler now at spacedoutradio.com.
We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckard, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio, and while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there.
At spacedoutradio.com, we are keeping you up to date on all the news with the SOR Newswire. Captain Shirk leads the team that is bringing you the news of the day and exclusive stories on everything paranormal and supernatural. It's free to read, it's updated daily, and it's right there for you. The SOR Newswire is a one-stop shop for the news of the day. Check it out at spacedoutradio.com today.
We're taking Sunday nights out of this world on Spaced Out Radio. This is Michael W. Hall, also known as the Paranormal Lawyer. Together, we're going to go on an exciting journey into the unknown. I'm going to bring you some of the best interviews in the paranormal and supernatural to start your new week off on a freaky note. So tune in to Spaced Out Sundays with me, Michael W. Hall, only on spacedoutradio.com.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
You wanted new SOR gear, and now you can have it. The SOR Vault is fully stocked with t-shirts, hats, hoodies, mugs, and everything in between, with great logos for you to choose from. So head on over to spacedoutradio.com, click on the SOR Vault, and go shopping. Pricing is quite affordable, and you can look good representing your favorite show. So go to our website and pick up your new SOR wear at the SOR Vault today.
Are you looking for great advertising value for your company? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. We have a multitude of places to get your name out there, including commercial ads during the show, special promotions, and banners on our website. Our audience is proven to support the companies that support our show. We can make your budget work for you. For more information, please contact us at sales@spacedoutradio.com.
Hey, space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Chive Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
We pass the halfway point of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, El Avni Volador, my secret identity here on Spaced Out Radio. I want to remind you that if you have missed most of this show or others, you can check out our free archives by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website, spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. It's the SOR Roundtable tonight. We are joined by Goof on Zone, Rich Giordano. We have Roy Washington, a great podcaster out there. And, yeah, you got to listen to him. Our resident witch, Lynn Wellington, Science Bob McGwier, and researcher Alex Mistretta. And here we go. We're continuing with the Pericarrian talk tonight. And, Alex, I had to cut you off right beforehand about, getting into all these groups here and taking all these locations, locking them down, not really doing what's best for the field in general. Do you want to continue with that?
Yeah, it's a good thing to cut me off. I was making no sense anyway. But yeah, it's just the whole thing's just counterproductive. That's all I'm saying. Your goal shouldn't be to be the team or to be the guy or to be, this or that. Your goal should be to make progress in the field, because otherwise, what's the point? That's all. So anything that goes against progress, at least for me personally, I hate. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of that modality.
There you go. Science Bob, I think we're still needing your opinion on this.
Oh, I'm going to join the other. I don't want things to get in the way of progress. And look, ego is everywhere. It's in science. We've seen ego do bad things in science, but objectivity is required to make progress. And ego needs to be shoved aside, and you need to learn to work with others.
But how do you work with that when there's not formal education, there's not formal training outside of television? There are good people out there right now, Bob, who are trying to get courses going, trying to teach people, doing online Zoom sessions, trying to teach people the proper ways of taking your time to investigate. When there is no rule book, man, you come from a scientific background where there's a lot of rules, but there's a lot of interpretations to those rules because science wants that expansion to see what else is out there. Yet when it comes to ghost hunting, even cryptids or UFOs for that matter, there is no rule book. There's no right way, there's no wrong way, and people are confused. They don't know what to do. They don't really know how to gauge a proper opinion.
So look, science is the art of being the art and interpersonal relationship and data gathering and analysis and whatever brain power you can put to it. But it's also the conveying of information to others who don't understand what you're trying to say. If you can't convey it to others, you've not done any good. So one of the smartest men that ever lived was Richard Feynman. And one of the best things that Richard Feynman was known for was being a brilliant teacher. He had a massive ego, but he also was a fantastic teacher. And he was not self-conscious. He would get up and he would just be himself, and he would do whatever it took to get the knowledge over to other people. And he worked with a lot of people. Sometimes he offended them because he was kind of a goofy guy. But, look, you got personalities. The goal should be get stuff done. Get shit done in spite of the personalities. And so we need a rule book. And the only rule book I know that will work is logic applied to the scientific method, where you first do observational science and then apply logic and scientific method. That's the only way I know. The only way I know to go forward.
Lynn, be the voice of reason to all the Pericarrians out there. Tell us the do's and don'ts.
It's on me. Well, I've kind of been listening to what everybody's been saying, and I think we've all been saying the same sort of a thing, but from different angles. And there's one necessary is training, certain standards put in place. As far as the group skeptic, I'm so glad you brought that up. That's 6 months. That just drives me absolutely insane. Because I think we should all be skeptic to a certain degree. And maybe we have something in place, like in science, you certainly are not going to be objective to your own research as much as you want to try to be, but there are peer-reviewed journals. So why can't we have something similar to that? Like, we just need to get the constructs in place.
I agree.
Here's another one, though, that Nicole brought up in the chat room. She hates that almost every team has to have their resident historian as well. Are we just breaking this down, just giving people titles just for the sake of it? I mean, to me, that's just another eye-rolling topic.
I think it's probably yes and no, the answer to that question. Yes, they want titles. But I do think it's important for people to have their different roles in the teams, because everybody's going to bring something to it. And just like you would have in any type of a team or research organization, you're all going to have your own specialty and you're all going to focus on one particular thing. So it is kind of obnoxious to have these titles, but whatever, they're just having fun with it. So it is what it is.
Who's the resident historian out of this group?
Poland. Oh, he's not here.
Yeah, Poland's not here. Where's Poland?
Is he here?
No.
No, I didn't think so.
No.
Bob would be, wouldn't he?
I'll say the science guy.
I know a lot of history, but I'm not a historian because I don't follow the methodology of historians, and nor do I even know it. I mean, I talk to Richard Dolan all the time, and he is a professional historian with a degree in history, but I still don't understand all their methodologies, nor do I want to take the time to learn it. So there you go.
Right.
That is such a good answer. That's true.
No, I didn't think so.
Oh, we're getting a little bit of feedback from your line, Alex. Get you to turn your speaker down if you don't mind. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, how's
Go
that?
ahead,
Is that
Rich.
better?
Much better, thank you. Richie, go ahead.
No, I just said what I said. Yeah, that was already finished, actually. But no, I was just saying it. That's exactly right. It's extremely very good thing that Bob said. That's all I said. I was just agreeing.
Well, let's move on here. And Lynn, we're going to kick you into the front of the line here for a second, because, it's your turn. I want to ask you about the Men in Black, changing topics from the paranormal back to, the conspiratorial side of UFOs here for a second, because I am El Ovni Volador right now. All right. So with that, Men in Black, there has always been these secrets in this debate, whether or not they're human, whether or not they're alien, whether or not they even exist, or it's just people who bought a dark suit and drive a dark car. Because believe it or not, there are people out there who drive black Cadillacs or black trucks or SUVs who wear dark suits on a daily basis. I know it's hard to fathom, but it's out there. All right. But here's my question. Could we consider Luis Elizondo, who ran the ATIP program, allegedly, I think he did, could we consider him literally the first man in black to come out in public?
That's a good question. Well, I guess my answer would be, after talking to as many experiencers as I have, and there have been a fair number of them that have had experiences, what we would term men in black, did he go out and threaten these people? Did he go out and do all of the typical things that we have heard that men in black do? Or did he simply, help run a program? So I think that's where the differentiation would lie, is what was his role? Did he go out and say, you better not talk about these things or else your whole family's going to die, or whatever it is these men in black say? I don't really know. Obviously, I would not be a good one. So I think that's where I would say I'm not quite sure. It depends on what his role was, really.
No, he's too short. It would be, you could pick him out of you got to be over 5'5" to be a Men in Black.
I didn't know about the height requirement.
Yeah, you got to be 6 feet at least, minimum.
Well, then no.
Over his arms.
He'd be picked out of a lineup, it'd be too easy. Oh, the short, chubby guy. Yeah, okay.
Easy answer. There you go. No, Dave, he's not.
There you go.
Okay. Richie, what's your thoughts?
No, I understand where you're going with this. Of course, I digest. No, he's definitely not. I don't think he would be in our country, but I think he would be a plainclothes type of guy like that. Look, I've had an experience a long time ago being followed and videotaped it, and the guy was wearing just jeans and a T-shirt. He fit in. And, that could have been a Men in Black in jeans. Maybe they just, dummy down a little bit instead of looking so inconspicuous. Wait, no. What? No, that's wrong. Inconspicuous is when you hide, right? I don't know. What the hell am I saying? What am I saying, Bob?
I don't know, Richie. You're saying it.
Exactly. He's always got the best answers. You really do. What I'm saying is I think they may have went to the plain clothes and just fit in with everybody and, kind of do it that way. Inconspicuously.
I think the kind of best description is in the narratives of John Keel and his books, and they're not like guys in trench coats that are working for the U.S. government. They are odd creatures who knows where they come from and who knows what their motivations are. I mean, Keel's description of the Men in Black and the Mothman prophecies, the Eighth Tower, and so forth, they're actually creepy. And if I saw one of them, I'd run.
So you're saying the Men in Black are alien? Sorry, Dave. Took too long.
Go ahead, Rich. Let me tell you something, brother.
I think Keel believed that they could be some kind of paranormal entity that was not fully human.
Ooh.
His description of them in Mothman Prophecies is scary.
Is it possible that there are several different types of Men in Black?
I am absolutely convinced you're correct.
Interesting. I never thought of that.
So do you think that Luis Elizondo is a human version of a man in black who has been or who has come forward after running the ATIP program, Bob?
He was in counterintelligence and he worked for the Defense Intelligence Agency. I do not know all of his areas of responsibility. So the best I can do is make a wild ass guess. And my scientific Bob's wild ass guess is no, he's never been on MIB.
Nope, he's a peanut M&M.
Dave, there's this young man who I was over his house once with some of my crew. He had computers all over the place, and it was like the place was kind of unkept. It looked like Neo, how his place was unkept, but he had all these computer screens and everything. And this guy, all he did was go to work and come home and get on his computer and then search things on the web. And apparently, I guess I hear he had tapped into something, some kind of government thing, and I guess he had tapped into it, got into it, and a couple guys appeared at his place and had, I don't know if they confiscated some of his computers, but they had he had to deal with a couple of guys, and they was that kind of like Men in Black with the suits and everything. But he had tapped into some kind of government sites that he shouldn't have been on, and that was kind of high profile. But he was that good on the computer that he was able to figure it out. So I thought that was something that would bring into the conversation as well.
All right, perfect. Thank you for sharing that, man, because, I mean, we hear a lot of that going on. We do, especially, in the yesteryears with people having their computers taken or their computers hacked. I know Butch Bukowski has a great story about that, where he accidentally clicked on some government website and it killed his $2,000 laptop that he had had for like 4 days. 4 days. And it was wiped completely clean. And so we see that happening. Alex, I want you to chime in on this about Luis Elizondo. Could he be a person who was a man in black?
No, I think he's management, right? The men in black traditionally are more the grunts. You guys are out there knocking on doors, scaring all the Karens, So, and I get men in black, somewhat ubiquitous term, but traditionally they've either been to the government agents, usually, a couple guys together or whatever, are out there doing the groundwork, the field work, the footwork, which Elizondo wouldn't have been doing, being, in management, so to speak. And the other aspect of that, and I've had one experience with Men in Black and 2 cases that I worked on that were involved, and they're all typical government guys. There's nothing supernatural or alien about them. And, the other side of that is what I'm sorry, I forgot the Quest. Is that who was talking about the John Killian Men in Black? Like that modality seems to have gone out in the 70s, at the latest. We haven't heard about that aspect of the nonsensical kind of Men in Black that don't appear completely human. So, the Men in Black today are traditionally just, government agents. And sure, yeah, it's evolved, like the suit and tie isn't really what everybody wears as much today, right? They did in the 60s or the 70s where most of these guys were seen. So the phenomena is involved as fashion is involved and government, the protocols involved in the way they dress and the cars they drive. But traditionally, there's still people out doing the work out in the field, scaring Karens or whatever they're doing. And that wouldn't have been Elizondo. I don't think so, no.
All right. Well, we're going to move on here in the roundtable discussion here tonight on Spaced Out Radio. We are going to get into numbers because a good friend of mine, Paisley Town, who's a numerologist out of Vancouver, came around earlier this month. We were talking about numerology and the fact that people see numbers all around them. Our resident mathematician is Science Bob McGwier. There's a lot of people who believe, Bob, that numbers tell a story on a psychic and consciousness level. Out of all the numbers you've worked with over the years, a lot of zeros and ones in the binary area, did you ever think that numbers would play a role in any type of psychometry?
Psychometry.
Or psychic ability or consciousness? Or is it all coincidence?
No. I don't believe that. I don't believe that consciousness is coincidence. So, I have this perspective of being, a mathematician trained to think logically and use the logic. But one of the most amazing things to me was Kurt Gödel's proof in the early 20th century that any finite set of rules for doing math, there were questions you could not decide whether they were true or false by running an algorithm using the logic. So, but there are, in that collection of things that can't be shown that's right or wrong by running the algorithm using the logic, you can know that they're true by testing them. To me, this says that anything like a computer or a brain or so forth cannot, given a finite collection of rules, decide every question, but sometimes we know the answer. Consciousness is much bigger than just sitting in a brain or on a computer. That's just my perspective, given my experience and my knowledge of the underlying tenets of logic and mathematics. I believe that we can describe approximations to consciousness. For example, Hoffman's work out in California is dealing with consciousness from a mathematical perspective, I don't believe he can describe all of consciousness, given that the mathematics he's using is based on a finite collection of axioms. What we need to do science is some kind of way of making a measurement about consciousness. Once we can start making measurements and do experiments, then there's hope for us learning enough about the consciousness doing observational science to make a falsifiable hypothesis. So that's a long-winded, complicated answer that I'm comfortable with because I'm pretty ignorant about psychometry and so forth.
Well, we'll get a psychic to break it down for you. How about that?
That'll be great.
Perfect. All right, Alex, let's get you in here.
I know nothing about this subject, absolutely nothing. But I do believe, that obviously we've all heard of the golden mean and pattern in the chaos, so to speak. So I think ultimately it comes down to that there's patterns to everything. Entropy and chaos is just our inability to recognize pattern, and pattern is made up of math and numbers, which is, ubiquitous across the universe. So from that standpoint, sure. In terms of, the other aspect of numerology, I honestly know absolutely nothing about it, so I'd just be talking out of my ass if I went any further.
One of the things that I've noticed here with a lot of things, okay, and I've noticed it with myself, okay, and I've said this before on the show, and so I'll just tell you again. I hate the number 13. Hate it. Okay, I don't know why. Just hate it. It just bugs me. The whole number 13. My daughter in 1999, when she was born, she was 5 pounds 13 ounces. All right. Ever since then, I see the number 513 everywhere. On a clock, I checked my email the other day. I had 513 emails. My garbage cans have the number 513 on them. Doesn't matter where I go. I could be driving, think of my daughter, look at the car in front of me. There's number 513 on the license plate. It just seems to follow. And a lot of people will have that with, say, double digits like 11, 12, or 11, 22, 33, 44, 55, and so on. I mean, how many people brag? 11, 11, 11, 11. Tired of that one, but... that's what I'm saying. Is it just a matter of patterns, or is there something conscious about this?
Yeah, but the other side of that, too, is the fact that you're going to notice it more if it's the number that 13 for you, right? You're going to notice every time you see 13. But you're not going to notice every time you see 11 or any time you see 8. It's not going to register quite as much. So from that standpoint, is it really just due to chance, or is your data kind of skewed because 13 is in your head, and so you notice it more? You know what I mean?
Yep.
True that. Is it like a car? When you go buy let's say you buy a red Ford truck, then all of a sudden you start recognizing how many people actually have red Ford trucks out there?
Right.
Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Much better put than what I said. Yeah.
Okay.
You did fine.
You did fine. You did well. Everyone, I'm going to get you to hold on here because we're going to go to the top of the hour and we're going to continue with numerology. We're going to get into other topics like Bigfoot, like demons.
Yeah.
What else can we get into? Oh, we'll try and throw a bunch of stuff at the wall and see what sticks because it's the Paranormal Roundtable. Happens near the end of each month here on Spaced Out Radio, where we take a look back at the month that was. Our guests tonight are Science Bob McGwier, researcher Alex Mistretta, podcaster Roy Washington, our resident witch, and the best-looking one of this crew, Lynn Wellington. And from Goof On, we have Little Richie G.
Yep.
More Spaced Out Radio with Hour 3 next.
I'm feeling a little spicy tonight. What to do?
Why not get Bumblefuck?
4 million Scoville units of pure hard rock. Bumblefoot hot sauces come in 3 flavors. The burning bumble, tone it down a bit with Bumblicious, and throw the sauce on everything.
Spicing up. Bumble me, baby. Bumblefoot hot sauce. Get it today at Kajans.com.
We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. And while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there. The SOR Vault is open for business, and do we have some cool swag for you to pick up? All you have to do is head over to our website and click on the SOR Vault. You have a variety of cool logos to choose from, and put them on anything you want. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, coffee mugs, you name it, we can get it to you. So do your shopping by supporting the story you love. Get your Spaced Out Radio swag at the SOR Vault today.
Looking for creative ways to get your company out in the public? How about advertising on Spaced Out Radio? Our sales department is waiting to hear from you, and we can work around any budget. From commercial spots to banners to special promotions, there are many opportunities to get your name and product out to our SOR listeners. For a price guide and more information, please contact us at sales@spacedoutradio.com.
We are scouring the world for the most intriguing stories of your day. Take the time to read up on the SOR Newswire, where our team, led by Captain Shirk, will deliver to you some of the best paranormal and supernatural news, along with some stories that will blow your mind from the weird to the wacky. It's the news outside the news that piques interest, and that's what we're looking to deliver to you. The SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
For the price of 1 cup of coffee a month, you can become an SOR Space Traveler. The Space Travelers Club is a place where you can interact with other listeners, either live during the show or on our great forum. We want your stories, pictures, comments, and ideas. You'll get live video streams, exclusive content, and be a part of our newsletter. Stay in touch with everything SOR. The Space Travelers Club is just $5 a month at spacedoutradio.com.
Hello, Space Travelers. It's me again, Carl. Don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month and follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Come woo it up with Spaced Out Radio today. Bye!
Hey, Space Travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Chive Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
Hello everyone, this is Ryan Stacy from the Experiencer Support Association, otherwise known as TESSA. We're glad to team up with Spaced Out Radio to help investigate your experiences on the SOR Sightlines Report. Together, we'll investigate the strange sightings and occurrences you've had. We're looking for answers just like you. So fill out a Sightlines Report on the Spaced Out Radio website and let's figure out what's going on together.
Hi there, this is the paranormal lawyer Michael W. Hall. I'd like to invite you to listen in each Sunday night where we're going to open up your eyes to everything strange and paranormal. I will be hosting some great guests with topics that affect us all, such as UFOs, ghosts, and everything paranormal. Let's learn together on Spaced Out Radio Sunday with myself, Michael W. Hall, the paranormal lawyer at spacedoutradio.com.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, We're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at MightyMooseBeard.com today.
The party is always on at the Moose Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is where you want to be when visiting Canada's West Coast. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose cranks up the rock while serving some of the best rated food in the city. The menu starts at $6.95. Why party anywhere else in Vancouver when the Moose is right there? Get your horns up and rock with the Moose, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thaw, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Would you like to connect with us? Head to spacedoutradio.com for all your latest show info. Now, back to Dave Scott and SOR.
Third and final hour of Spaced Out Radio is underway tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Thank you so much for taking the time to tune us in, especially if you're listening in on our terrestrial affiliates around North America and digitally on TalkStream Live and Revolution Radio. All of our archives are free for you at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Pantagruelian. Pantagruelian is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. We got the Paranormal Roundtable happening right now. We do it near the end of each month, so that way we could go over the month that was in the weird and strange, and of course, the wooful. And our panel tonight is Lynn Wellington, our resident witch. We have researcher Alex Mistretta, podcaster, Roy Washington. From Goof On, we have Rich Giordano and our resident scientist, Science Bob McGwier. We were talking about numerology right before the break. Lynn, I want to bring you in right off the bat here, because do you think numbers actually play a giant role in spirituality and consciousness, and can they tell a story?
Okay. This one I got, I think. So I'll take you for a little walk into my world here. So as witches, when we do spell work, we're basically working with energy and we're directing it and we're using consciousness. So I don't think that numbers have something to do with consciousness. I think that consciousness has something to do with numbers. So, for example, there are things such as thought forms, also called egregores, tulpas. These are all beings that are created basically through intention, through thought. And this spans across a number of different cultures. And so I think right now, because there's such an interest and such a discussion about these numbers that people keep seeing popping up, that's essentially what is happening, is that we are creating this, our collective consciousness, as we're talking about it, is therefore creating this phenomena. I think it's a newer thing. I don't think it's not something that I remember hearing about years ago. And it's something everybody is now talking about. So in essence, as I'm rambling on, I think we are creating the effect of seeing numbers. So as you were talking about with your daughter, 513, I think it's just something that, and it's probably subconsciously you have in the back of your mind. So therefore now you're seeing it everywhere.
All right. That's probably what it is. Little Richie G, you're following up.
And you're going to have to ask me again.
Numbers. Do you see numbers?
Oh, numbers.
Do you see? Do you see patterns?
Yeah. Well, you get lost in someone else's answer. Start daydreaming. I was, yes, big time. And it happens periodically. It doesn't happen consistently. And I don't know if it has to do with me sitting on the couch for a couple of months or not. But I'm telling you, I used to see 1111 consistently for years. And then one day it just stopped. It just stopped. And I told people, do you ever see 1111? And a lot of people said, yeah. When I look at the clock, when it's 1111, I see it. Of course. I mean, no, by accident, or you're not thinking about the time. And next thing you know, it's 1111. Then the next time you look at a clock, it's 1111. And then something happened. You stopped the VCR, you know where I'm from, and it stopped on 1111. Lots of weird coincidences seeing 1111. And a lot of people do that. And they say, okay, you're on the right path. It means you're on the right path. You're making the right decisions. Really, I just got fired. I lost my car. I lost my house. What are you talking about? It's got to mean something else. Yeah. It's opening up a new passage for you. It's a new beginning. Oh, God. It's never ending. So I hear a lot of different things with 1111. It's your angel, your guardian angels following you. They're helping you out. Every time you see 1111, that's them letting you know they're there helping you. And I'm like, they need to do better. So I don't know. Then I started seeing 33 everywhere. I don't know what it means, Dave. I mean, it happens. And I don't know if it's my subconscious mind just looking for it. Doesn't make sense. And I tried to figure it out. I've talked to many people over the years, and everybody says it's the same thing. It just means you're on the right path. I'm like, all right. Doesn't feel right.
But I would ask the question, too, does it have to mean something?
No. Well, should it?
I don't know.
Depends if you believe in that matrix type of reality. Maybe this isn't all real, and the numbers are signs from our creators. I don't know.
Or maybe all of us talking about it is therefore creating this happening. It doesn't necessarily have any meaning.
I mean, I'd be skiing, come home skiing. Oh my! You look at a clock and it says 11:11. I didn't wear a watch all day. Didn't even ask about the time. It's just weird. It's too coincidental for it not to be maybe written in this code in my life at one point. Who knows? Maybe we all get guided somehow, some way. We just have to be aware of it.
It's possible.
I want to get Roy's opinion in on this because he's got the final say.
Come on, Roy.
Well, like I told you guys, I'm a little lost on this one. The only thing I could say is shout out to Paisley. She was right on when she did my reading on that show, Dave, that you had. She was right on with her reading of me, so I was very impressed with that.
Strong final words there to end the topic on numerology. We're going to get right into demonology here because I had a guest on just the other night named Nathaniel Gillis who believes that these demons that he goes out hunting are actually alien greys. And they're all part of the big scheme in order to try and pit good versus evil on this. Alex, we're kicking things off with you here, man. Fill me in. Do you believe that there is a connection between demons and little gray aliens? Let's turn up the woo here.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Not at all. I don't like the term demons because when everybody says demons, and I know it's very in, especially in the ghost hunting world, it's like the Christian tradition that was invented way back in the day for, basically for propaganda and political purposes, mixed in with the Hollywood version of demons. And that's kind of become its own thing, and now that's what people usually refer to. Now, if you start talking about more ancient traditions and perhaps some kind of entity that exists outside of us, then maybe. But I think the whole demon thing's bullshit for the most part, if I'm going to be honest with it. And I think it's such a simplistic way to look at grays or ufology and aliens today. And it's like, it's 2020 at this point. I think we got to look at things with a little bigger angle than just, simplistic good versus evil.
Lynn, demons, are they aliens?
They're not grays, for sure. I think that's kind of crazy. I think, I don't know. I think if anything, they may be interdimensional beings, but definitely not gray aliens. No. No. I don't even know what else to say to that, but no.
Why not? I've heard there are good and bad grays.
Well, there could be, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're demons. Like, I think of demons as a different type of entity. So, I mean,
I guess, you're right.
What's to say what's bad, what's good and bad? I mean, we're not talking about what's inherently evil, what's inherently good. We're talking about our perception of what we assume evil to be. Let's say we're walking down, we're in a haunted house, and we're walking down and we get, slapped on the back of our head, or we get a scratch mark on our back. Automatically we jump to evil, because getting slapped or getting scratched, and especially in movies or whatever, it's our perception of what's something of an evil act. But is it really, though?
Thank you for saying that. Yes, absolutely. I agree.
Great comment, because they could just be trying to reach out and accidentally did it. You never know, right? You don't know the intentions.
Yeah, it's all about perception too.
Interesting.
We could say, the antelope could say the lion is evil, but the lion is simply trying to eat. So it could just be our perception, and we have this dualistic thinking of good versus evil. And I completely agree with you. I have this conversation with people all of the time because of the type of witchcraft that I do. They're always asking me these types of questions, and so it's one of my biggest things I have to deal with. And I ask the same question: why do we have to define it as good versus evil?
I think you can't separate cultural expectations to the way we represent our field and the way we view, paranormal events that happen to us. It's like in some ways, you can't separate the observer from the observed, but I think it goes even beyond that. I think our perception of things absolutely has an impact on what actually happens to us. I think, in some ways, we create, the perception of good versus evil, and then we kind of run with it, and then that gets fed, and that gets fed some more, and then there's more on top of that, and everybody agrees, and everybody adds to it, and next thing you know, this whole mythology gets built around a belief system.
Science Bob, let's hear from you.
I don't believe the demons and grays are the same thing. So, I come from a religious upbringing, and my father was a minister, and I don't believe they're the same.
How come?
Well, I think if you listen to a lot of descriptions of the gray aliens, they seem, for the most part, to be amoral, not unemotional, not necessarily evil, just amoral. And demons have this popular view of them as perpetuating evil and trying to do harm.
True. Lynn, I think you got your air conditioning on again.
I don't. It's the demon in the background.
It's the demons in the background.
It doesn't mean they're angry.
No, they're just having fun.
That's it.
They're living it up. They're smoking cigars and drinking whiskey. They're having a great time here.
Yes, they
are. Perfect.
So what is the standard there though? So if you're in a haunted house or a place where that's active, and you do get slapped upside the head or something, that's not necessarily have to be categorized as a demon or evil, does it? Can it just be a spirit that's just maybe messing with you, or a spirit that's just ticked off? Because a demon would be a different level, wouldn't it?
That sounds logical to me.
Oh, that's way too much logic there, Roy. Way too much logic for the woo. I don't know if we can accept that answer, my friend. I don't know. But I guess the way I could see where the guest was coming from, okay? Because in the end, they do seem to have a lot of similarities, nightmares, bodily harm, surgeries, not knowing what is really going on, the scare factor that people go through. So there are a lot of similarities that both these alien grays, who seem to be quite scientific and with zero personality comparatively to what we see with people who have demonic encounters. And Alex, you told a story a little bit ago about about, a lady thought she was having poltergeist activity and filmed a video of what looked to be a gray running around her house.
Yeah, I mean, not just thought she was having poltergeist activity. We saw the pictures. There's pictures of multiple heads that were coming out of the wall that were just behind her in some of the pictures. There was pictures of the entities, in the apartment, the whole thing. And that was, before we even got to the film of the gray. So, yeah, there's definitely a correlation with those two phenomena at some point. But poltergeist activity and hunting doesn't necessarily equate to demons or anything necessarily negative or that means you harm. I think.
So we're all going to vote no, demons are not aliens.
No, they're not.
No. They could be. Why can't they be? Nobody asked me. I'm just saying it now. Why can't they be?
I don't know.
Well, actually, no, I agree with you. They are not gray aliens, but they could be either aliens or interdimensional beings.
But we don't really know, man.
No, that's why I said
right. Yeah, I know. I'm frustrated.
Corin's the booking guy brings up a good point here. Corin's is asking, why do we assume all of the evil or dark entities are from the same place? Or that they are all working together, or even give a you-know-what about what others are doing? Do we even know that?
Mm-hmm. I mean, as in a good question.
Yeah.
Well, that's a human mind, right? We all want to kind of categorize everything in a small little neat packet. But look, it's like the three blind men and the elephant type of deal when it comes to any type of paranormal phenomena where, one guy's grabbing the leg, one guy's grabbing the tail, and they're going to describe as, well, I'm holding a tree trunk. The guy's grabbing the leg. The guy's grabbing the tail. It's like, well, I'm grabbing a snake because he can't see the rest of the elephant. We're seeing such a small part of the spectrum, both visually.
Great.
We're seeing such a small part of the spectrum of what's really going on that we have such limited data to go with and we're filling in the rest, and we don't know how accurately we're filling in the rest of the information. And I think that's where kind of some of the problems happen.
Very true. Very true. All right. Let's move on here, guys, because we're going to get to another topic here. And we're going to get into, and I want to spend some time on this one. This one may take us right till the end of the show. But Science Bob, we're going to start with you on this one, if you don't mind, because this past month we learned that there is now an official group sanctioned by the United States government going after and looking for UFOs. This is unprecedented. I don't think that any of us a couple of years ago would have ever expected this to happen in today's government, in a public forum and in a public place where publicity of this topic has never been before. What's your thoughts on the U.S. government looking seriously now and putting taxpayers' dollars into UFOs?
I think it's just absolutely astounding. I just didn't think I would see it happen. And I never had anything to do with UFOs or remembered any of the weird things that happened to me until when I was young, until 2016 came and the UFOs were in the New York Times and Politico, and Tom DeLonge and his crew came out. And we know from all sorts of sources that Christopher Mellon and Lou Elizondo went around and talked these senators and Congress critters into putting this stuff in a bill. And the reason they're doing it is because the Navy's sick of not being given any answers, and they want answers. The Navy has our largest Air Force, not the Air Force, and they've got a lot of things in the sky, and these things are being encroached upon by things that fly very, very close to them. That and the entire airspace and sea space around a nuclear aircraft carrier is sequestered, guarded, forbidden territory, and yet these things come in and out of them at will. So the Navy's fed up, and they want answers. And they apparently have gotten enough clout to have Congress demand that public data, public statements, public reports be made. Now, I'm going to not hold my breath till the public report comes out because I don't want to turn blue. But the bills are supposed to have public reporting of materials found by the Department of Defense and the Navy Task Force, working with the Director of National Intelligence and so forth, to tell these stories. I hope we get real stories. Wouldn't you love it if they said, yeah, okay, well, we've seen an alien and we've got a craft? That would be my, wow, that's it, kind of outcome, but maybe we'll just see more videos. But I think it's unbelievable to go from threatening people with their lives and livelihoods in Roswell to now saying you're mandated by Congress to come and tell us the truth. That's a pretty big deal.
Bob, why now? Why the importance of this coming out now? I don't believe for a second that it is 100% due to the pressure from the To the Stars Academy. The media hasn't put any pressure on the government to do this. There is no reason for the United States government to do this at all, and yet here we are. This is what doesn't make sense to me.
Well, as I said, the Navy's pissed off. They've got all this stuff going on around these unbelievable assets and the unbelievably highly trained, highly skilled operators of these assets, and they want answers before something bad happens. And just look, from a military, strategic, and tactical thinker, everything we're seeing from these reported UAPs looks like reconnaissance. So an entity does reconnaissance when it wants to understand something about the adversary. And so I'm just telling you, the military mindset is we have to assume that these are potential adversaries, and we want to know what we're up against so we can plan for it. I just think, but look, there was some entity, somebody, some group, something that kept all this stuff super secret for a long time. And I think most people don't understand the power of small groups and or individuals inside the United States government to control things. And there is clearly some kind of control for a long time. And suddenly the controls are breaking down. I think some important people have died or something like that. So some event like that has caused, because remember, the Nimitz was 16 years ago. And it's just now coming out in the last 2 or 3 years. So something else has happened. Something like the death of a powerful person who controlled all the secrets. Something like this has happened, but I don't know what it is.
That's what intrigues me. That's what absolutely intrigues me. And we've only got about 45 seconds before we have to go to break at the bottom of the hour. Bob, do you think that somewhere along the food chain that there was a letter or a memo saying it's time?
I think a decision was made. Okay, I know for a fact that there was a working group that involved entities all over the U.S. government to put together a position paper that went forward before all this stuff was announced. And so it was passed through the government. And when they said we don't know what it is, that means they could not prove or even think of a human source for these things. So, yes, a big deal.
All right, we're going to get the rest of the panel to respond to what Bob says on the big question. Why is the U.S. government now looking into UFOs publicly when they've never done this before? It's a very interesting time in UFO history and history in general. What is the cover-up? Is there a cover-up? We'll find out next with our panel. Science Bob McGwier, Lynn Wellington, Roy Washington, Alex Mistretta, and from Goof On, Rich Giordano. Next on Spaced Out Radio.
Are you looking for great advertising value for your company? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. We have a multitude of places to get your name out there, including commercial ads during the show, special promotions, and banners on our website. Our audience is proven to support the companies that support our show. We can make your budget work for you. So for more information, please contact us at sales@spacedoutradio.com.
You wanted new SOR gear, and now you can have it. The SOR Vault is fully stocked with t-shirts, hats, hoodies, mugs, and everything in between with great logos for you to choose from. So head on over to spacedoutradio.com, click on the SOR Vault, and go shopping. Pricing is quite affordable, and you can look good representing your favorite show. So go to our website and pick up your new SOR wear at the SOR Vault today.
Hey everybody, the SOR Space Travelers is open. For just $5 a month, you can hang out with Dave and our crew privately in our members-only section. With your signing, you'll receive newsletters on what's going on with Spaced Out Radio. You'll have direct contact with the host during the show in our chat, live streaming videos, and a great forum for your posts and more. Become a space traveler now at spacedoutradio.com.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Hey Spaced Out Radio fans, it's John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. Our goal is to make the life of veterans, first responders, and those with rare medical conditions 10% happier. We do this by donating one grant item, ranging from dance to therapy programs to prosthetic limbs, to those who need it most. To contribute to Spaced Out Radio's official charity, head over to chivecharities.org and become a donor today.
Hi there, this is the paranormal lawyer Michael W. Hall. I'd like to invite you to listen in each Sunday night, where we're going to open up your eyes to everything strange and paranormal. I will be hosting some great guests with topics that affect us all, such as UFOs, ghosts, and everything paranormal. Let's learn together on Spaced Out Radio Sunday with myself, Michael W. Hall, the paranormal lawyer at spacedoutradio.com.
If you like it hot, real hot, then heat up your meals with Bumblefoot hot sauce.
Get your Bumblefoot hot sauce today. The sauce, Bumblicious, and the 4 million Scoville unit Bumble. We're going in hot, real hot, coming out even hotter.
Keep the milk nearby and tantalize your taste buds tonight.
Bumblefoot hot sauce, available now at kajans.com.
Hello, space travelers. It's me again, Carl. Don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month, and follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Come woo it up with Spaced Out Radio today. Bye!
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at MightyMooseBeard.com today.
At spacedoutradio.com, we are keeping you up to date on all the news with the SOR Newswire. Captain Shirk leads the team that is bringing you the news of the day and exclusive stories on everything paranormal and supernatural. It's free to read, it's updated daily, and it's right there for you. The SOR Newswire is a one-stop shop for the news of the day. Check it out at spacedoutradio.com today.
cold drinks, great food, and the best music in Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is the place to be, open until 2 a.m. nightly. Everything on the menu starts at just $6.95. Who serves food that cheap anymore? At the Moose, you'll never know who you'll run into. Rock stars, actors, athletes. It's the place everyone wants to be. So join us at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
What? We've rounded third. We're heading for home tonight on Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Thank you so much for taking the time to hang out with us. I want to remind you that if you've missed most of this show or others, check out our free archives by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. Tonight we have, for the final time, our panel for the SOR Roundtable. We are joined tonight by Lynn Wellington, our resident witch, Science Bob McGwier, podcaster Roy Washington, and we got Alex Mistretta, who is currently, during the break, blow-drying his chest hair. We don't know why, but apparently he was. And from Goof On, we have Rich Giordano. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on his YouTube channel as well. And we were talking about, Rich, and we're going to start with you on this, about the government in the United States admitting that they are looking for UFOs. And they now have a group that has a task force to do this, to try and figure out what is entering American airspace. Rich, is this a good idea, bad idea? Is it good for it to finally go public after years of denial?
Well, sure. I think it'll cover their butts if something does fall out of the sky and land somewhere. They'll say, look, hey, we told you this stuff was a threat, which I don't really like, because just because we don't know what it is or where it is doesn't mean it isn't one of ours or one of theirs, whoever. Not aliens. I mean Russia, China, them people. What if it is that? What if it's just reverse engineered, very, technical alien stuff? And they just figured out a way to use it, or it's our own government using it. But yeah, I think it's great that it's a little bit public, but you're not going to get any evidence anyway. They're always going to give you just enough, and then they're going to close the door and retract. And we've seen that happen a few times already this year. So, it is nice, but I don't get too excited.
Well, that's too bad, because I thought you would get excited over that.
Why? Because they pull the rug out from under us all the time. Oh yeah, we're gonna sign this and we're gonna get access to that. We're gonna know stuff. No, you're not. Nobody's gonna give you anything. You can't admit that you have something that special. It can't happen. You just can't. And what happens, like we talked about in the first hour, you can't give it out to the public because somebody's gonna back engineer it and make a weapon out of it. Forget it.
All right. Who wants to respond to that?
It's good memory.
I'm with Rich. I agree with
All right.
I agree.
All right.
Yeah, I agree too.
All right.
That's three, Dave.
That was powerful.
That's never happened on this show. Three people agreeing?
Make it four.
Well, thank you, whoever the fourth one was.
That's me. No,
thank
Science Bob's
you.
the only one who hasn't responded yet.
That's okay. I got the majority. He did?
I was first to say yes.
I thought so.
Oh, so you're 5 out of 5, Richie. This is a new record for you.
That is a record. Good for me.
Wow.
Look, I'm getting wiser.
Look at that.
I accidentally.
This.
You throw enough on the wall, it'll stick once.
All right, Lynn, let's get your opinion on UFOs. The American government announcing they now have a UFO task force looking for these extraterrestrial, potentially craft that are flying the friendly sky.
I don't know what more to add. I agree. I think, okay, cool. I don't know that much is going to come of it. The only thing I would say that I think you had mentioned at one point where it was something about, whether these are a threat. And I think Richie had said this, like, I don't like the fact that that's kind of the excuse that's always used, because how do I know that it's a threat? I don't think we should be going and automatically assuming that. That doesn't really have much to do with what you're asking, but I'm going to add it in there because I don't really have much more to say.
All right. Alex, let's get you in here.
I both don't care and absolutely love it at the same time. Like, because the I don't care part is because I think ultimately, I don't know if this is really going to amount to a whole lot. But on the other hand, it creates such an opportunity for us to kind of run with this. And it also creates an opportunity for pilots, whether military or otherwise, to feel more comfortable coming up with their stories. Or it'll create maybe an environment where more Navy personnel or other military feel like they can push the subject, they can ask questions, they can try to get out in the open, even though they probably don't know any more than you and I do. And also I think I like, my whole thing is I'm tired of stories. I'm tired of like government disclosure. I'm tired of Area 51, of Roswell, whatever. I'm tired of looking backwards and waiting for Messiah and the answers to fall into our lap. Which is why I was so hung on the professional getting paid, research investigator things, because this can create an opportunity for us to move the field forward, where now that we're a little more, now we can go out to dinner and, and tell someone, hey, I'm interested in UFOs. I do UFO research, and you're not going to be laughed at. And so you can make a presentation to whoever you need to make a presentation to help you out in terms of getting opportunities to go out there and advance the field, or to go out. For example, last year I had I taught a class to kids 6 to 12 on paranormal phenomena, UFOs, and cryptozoology. And I wish that happened before that, because we would create an opportunity to talk to the kids who hopefully in the future will be interested in this field, and see, look, this is true, this is real, this is out there. And I think that's the important part. It's not the disclosure, it's not what we're going to get, it's the opportunity it creates to move things forward and share this with the world and enrich ourselves, and not just from a monetary standpoint, but with the opportunities that it can present for some of us that have been in this field for a long time. And that's the only thing I care about at this point.
Does anybody else feel like there's a storyline being created here with the little things that are coming out, year after year? Like, I don't know what it is or what it has to do with anything, but I just feel like, okay, we're finding out about Area 51, and then we're finding about ATIP, and then we have, the Nimitz and the gimbal and the other Navy videos, and now we have this. Like, it seems like it's a storyline that's just kind of being strung along.
Yeah, it's all it is. It's all stringing you out. That's all they're doing. Nothing's changed in 20 years, 30 years, 40.
Yeah, maybe they're ready to start giving us a little more information. So maybe that's why this is coming out now. They can kind of give us a little bit more information.
Or maybe it's a diversion tactic.
They've been had these, to me, I think they've been had these type of task force. But now maybe we're to the point where we're going to get a little bit more information now. That's how I feel about it.
Well, that still doesn't answer the question, though. That doesn't answer the question, though, is why now? After 70 years since Roswell, why now? This is what still confuses me about this entire topic, because for so many years, I mean, Bob, I want to bring you back in here for a second, but for so many years, so many people's lives were ruined by this topic. Okay, they were called frauds, cheats, liars, psychopaths, schizophrenics, absolutely everything to destroy anybody who had any type of encounter with extraterrestrials. And now all of a sudden we're supposed to believe them, like, yeah, okay, we're cool. Don't worry about the past, let's worry about the future. That's what ufology has become. Also, it's don't worry about the past. It's all about the future, all about the tech, all about this, all about that. I want to know about the past. I do. Bob.
Well, look, I read history. I've read, Dolan's books. and others about Roswell, and I've read that stuff because I think past is predicate for the future, and if you don't know the past, you don't know how it all got strung together. But the reason I believe there will never be full disclosure is because of the past. The government can't admit it has been engaged in criminal activity or civil, open themselves up to civil action, civil lawsuits, and so forth. So there will just never be the kind of disclosure people want.
Do you think it's a distraction to something else, something bigger? Did something scare them, Bob?
I think something like that is true, but I have no idea what it is. But I'm sitting here with bated breath, waiting.
In your hypothesis, what do you think scared them, if that is truly the reasoning? Is there a ship sitting behind the moon saying, hey, boys and girls, we're coming down to say hello?
We have lots of national assets that people never get to see the output of. These national assets have incredible capabilities. And I think that something has been seen, and it's finally had to be dealt with and admitted and so forth. And it's just time to say, look, we've got a situation. We're being visited, and we don't know by whom or what they were doing here. I think that that's probably where we are. At least I hope that we finally get some truth.
Truth just seems so far away. So far away. Alex, what do you think of what Bob says? Is there some sort of threat out there that has put the pressure on the government to finally start looking into this with a public task force?
I think that's certainly a possibility, absolutely. But I think, just the idea that, if a lot of these guys are asking the questions now, they're trying to push a subject, and if all of a sudden they just realize just that we're not alone, that, aliens are here, UFOs are here, and they're, again, they're violating our airspace, nothing you can do about it. They've been here for the last, since, the birth of Homo sapiens 300,000 years ago or whatever. That's enough to scare the shit out of them. If it's something they've never thought about before, it's just reality is just slap them in the face. I think that in itself would be enough, I think, to scare a lot of people that have had no frame of reference before, never really thought about it. So maybe it's that simple, but maybe there is something huge out there. Absolutely. Sure. Fear drives the world.
Very true. Very true. Richie.
Yes, Bubba.
How you doing?
I'm doing good, man.
Good.
What do you want?
Chilling.
Hey, you want to know what's up?
Yeah, I do actually.
Which
since
part?
we're here, in regards to the fact that there could be something that has forced the U.S. government and their hands into saying that now is the time that we have to react to this. Now is the time we got to come out, because I'm still trying to figure out a purpose to all of this.
We always try to do that. You can go back to when TTSA started and remember what ufology was like before they were around. It was kind of dead. I was bored. As soon as they come around, the mainstream media is getting involved. All sorts of things are being shown to us that we never thought existed, even though these videos have been out forever, since 2007, really. But nonetheless, the Navy comes out and is agreeing to let their pilots talk about things that they can't explain without being ridiculed. The New York Times. This to me seems like, and then COVID, I don't want to say it too loud, but I think this was a test to see how we can, follow what the government tells us to do. And in short term, we were able to, but after a few months, the natives got restless and things were happening, and you know what happened. So I don't know if the next act is going to be, maybe a false flag alien invasion or something. But I have a feeling it may be the narrative they're looking at. Look, they're putting fear into it. Fear, 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 fear. They're here. We don't know what they are. We don't know what they want. That scares the hell out of them. Why? Why are they letting everything happen, talk about it in mainstream media almost weekly, daily sometimes, So it is interesting. It feels like we're being desensitized to it at another level in a faster rate. I always say since TTSA came out, we got 10 years of information in 3 years. And I don't know why, but if you want to play devil's advocate and say maybe because there's a narrative that something's coming, that they have to disclose that they're here, I don't know, but they're going to try to unite us like they did on 9/11. I think there's something big, something major is about to happen. And if it's a false flag alien invasion, that would bring the whole world together. The whole world would unite to go against this threat of unknown origin, off-world. It's weird. They
I think
let
you just
those little
caused
things.
all of us to go run and grab the tinfoil right there, my friend. Thank you for that.
You may have to.
Well, I appreciate that. I'm not denying the woo whatsoever, man. Not denying it whatsoever. I think it was brilliant. Anybody else want to comment on what Rich stated?
I don't think we're uniting in anything. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Could be nothing at all.
No,
I just don't see us uniting.
No,
Alex, go ahead.
No, honestly, I just don't see the world uniting for anything. I mean, have you checked outside your door the last 6 months? I mean, we're not a uniting species. I just don't see that happen. Even, I mean, I think conflict is here to stay.
It may not be.
Unfortunately.
Like, if it's a false flag, it might be that alien invasion, then we would unite. Wouldn't you want to unite with the other people around the world and fight them?
Well, yeah, but I do, but I mean, we're just not. That's not the way we function as a species. Unfortunately, I think the news and the world, it's kind of shown us that the last 6 months, a year or so. I mean, it's ugly out there. I just think it's going to take more than that. Sadly.
Probably right.
We did fail the test. Yeah.
Well, let's get Roy here.
Yeah.
I think we will unite for to take care of a crisis, to face a crisis. We will unite for that, and then after that threat is gone, everything go back to the way it was.
We'll just start brawling and hitting each other, and good old fashioned hockey, 1970s hockey. That's what we need.
There you
Slap
go.
shot.
Exactly. God, I miss Slapshot. I'm gonna have to watch that again. I'm gonna have to watch it again too. Greatest movie ever. Greatest sports movie ever, next to Field of Dreams, in my opinion. But that's just me. All right, we've only got about 3.5 minutes left tonight before we got to start closing the doors on tonight's episode. And I got to ask you point blank, let's say that alien invasion did happen. Knowing how the North American people hoarded things like toilet paper and, all sorts of, mustard and hand sanitizer and ribeye steaks and, everything they could get their hands on that was non-perishable. Lynn, let's start with you. Give me 2 items that if the alien invasion happens, that you are running to the grocery store to hoard.
Well, definitely toilet paper, because for some reason in a crisis, that seems to be the most necessary item, according to everyone around me. And 2, I don't know, popcorn to sit back and watch it all.
Oh, nice call. I thought you were going with the wine. I thought you were going, I thought you were going with the wine.
Plenty of that. There's plenty in my house.
Well, perfect. As long as we know that, that's all that matters. All right, Roy, the alien invasion happens. What are 2 items that you were racing to the grocery store to hoard immediately?
Well, I already have my arsenal here for weaponry. I guess I have to say toilet paper and maybe this some more of this 1800 I'm sipping on right now.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Science Bob? Did he fall asleep? Science Bob? I bet you he did.
He's out getting some toilet paper.
Yeah.
I honestly did Science Bob get abducted by aliens? You know what? I think we scared Science Bob to the point that literally, he is running to the grocery store right now to grab some Metamucil and some Downy paper towels.
Oh, good.
My goodness. Alex, let's get yours. What 2 items are you hoarding?
Hot Pockets and Vanilla Coke.
Vanilla Coke. Okay.
Why Vanilla Coke?
This is what I drink. That's what I eat when I'm doing all my UFO work or my cryptozoology work. So I'm a method guy. That's what I do.
All right.
My food and a drink of choice when I work.
Perfect.
I love the question was why Vanilla Coke and not why Hot Pockets.
Hot Pockets are fantastic. You know, when you're a man, you know, you seriously look at Hot Pockets as a part of the daily diet. Rich Giordano, let's get your opinion. Your 2.
Well, if there's going to be an alien invasion, I don't know if they would turn the power grid off or what. So I don't know what. I can't go with those. All right, you know what? Nope, I can't. You can't because you got to microwave this stuff. I can't. Okay, here it is. You ready? All right, cookie dough.
Nice.
Because I'll eat the whole thing and then get sick, and then I won't have to worry about it. And then after that, I thought about this while everybody was talking, and holy mackerel, this is silly. I can't think, you know. I want to say one thing, but I don't want to let that secret out. So
we got 10 seconds. 10 seconds.
Give me 8 more. Let's see. Skittles.
Very good call. My 2 as we close things out tonight. I am definitely going down the aisle to grab all the iced tea that I can. Number 1. Number 2, I'm grabbing every Inquirer magazine because, damn it, they had the news right. We got Mr. Ron Bumblefoot Thal rocking in the background with Little Brother is Watching. Bumblefoot is the official music of Spaced Out Radio, rocking us in and out of every single show. Get your horns up for the guitar god himself. Special thanks to everybody listening in at work, at home, in your cars, wherever you may be. Thank you to everybody participating in our chat rooms tonight on Spreaker, YouTube, LGAB, Revolution Radio, Facebook, the Space Travelers Club, on our website, and to everybody on Twitter at #SpacedOutRadio. Remember, this show is copyright by Spaced Out Radio and SOR Media Ventures Limited. Thank you so much for choosing to share your evening with us, because together, my friends, say it with me, we own the night. Mr. Bumblefoot, we need a favor. We need you to take us home. Yes, the Woo train is docked for the night, but soon we shall ride again. Your seats are always available. Your tickets never expire. And if you want to bring a friend, guess what? We have room for them too. Good night.